Cheers, man. What's
Cheers,
up?
man. A lot of drama.
Dude, a lot of drama.
Man.
The season's kicking off. The season kicked off on Thursday.
This is this is the most exciting draft that
Yes.
I feel like I've had. Now, this is the draft I've never dove into a draft like this in a long time. You know, I had time a little bit more back in high school days to kind of dive into drafts like this. You know, it's been a long time, but we and you both have done. The good thing is that the people listening can just sit back and relax. We've done the homework for them.
Yeah, that's right. We can tell you exactly what you need to
We can tell you
believe.
exactly about your pick and your team, and you know it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited to dive into, you know, all these teams and what they've done. Starting out with the trade, you know, Duval moving up.
Oh,
How you doing, man?
good, man. Dude, the football season kicked off on Thursday. Cheers. You know, they say it doesn't kick off till September. That's bullshit. We're here and it's starting, man. The off season is exciting as ever. You know, you got a lot of stuff coming up, and you're going to see a lot of trades still happen in the off season. A lot of news, injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But all the way up until September is still just as exciting as when the season actually starts.
it's the off season for like the normal people, but for us, it's never the off season. The film room is always open. We're always watching these guys.
Yeah, the off season is like February to like the end of March.
Yeah, for sure.
The end of Super Bowl to the end.
There's like a little bit of a
March.
break. Yeah, I do
It's like a month
turn my
and a half.
brain off, and a lot of these guys, like we haven't gotten to all of these guys. I mean, this is like first reaction
There's
right
200
after the
players.
draft. We wanted to get like a perspective out there, you know, quick as possible, but we're gonna go pretty deep into all these teams. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
yeah, for sure. Man, I mean, obviously, you know, the big headline is Shedeur falling. You know, everybody has their opinion on that, and we'll get to that when we get to Shedeur.
Yeah,
So that'll be near the end, just like it was for him.
Cam, it's really sad because I feel like all the shine was taken off of Cam Ward. You know, he even showed up in like the more casual look at the draft. You know, no crazy chains, nothing too crazy.
A nice suit.
Was Cam Ward is really growing on me. I think that Cam Ward can be. I think he has the ability to be a top 15 passer in the league. I think he's got this.
I don't think that's that great.
I think that it's a start, you know, and you can improve on that from there, you know. I think it would be successful if he was, especially to enter the beginning of his career with what Tennessee has, and you know, we'll see. But I think he had the strongest arm in this class. I think that if I was Tennessee, was he the best player in this class?
No,
Definitely not. But
Abdul Carter probably.
you know, probably somewhere around like
Hunter, yeah.
10-ish, you know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
15 to 10-ish, I think.
I think 10 is probably the lowest I would go.
Yeah.
Or
I think
worst
that's
I would go.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But if I was the coach for Tennessee, I mean, I would have taken. I think we all would have taken.
Yeah. I mean, you had to take a quarterback.
Cam Ward.
And there's not a better quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
I think Cam Ward's in his own tier. So I guess we can go ahead and kick it off. Obviously, the Titans drafted Cam Ward at 1.
Mm-hmm.
It was like minus 20,000 before the draft started.
I heard they cut it off. They cut the bet off.
did,
Yeah. Meaning
I mean,
that you had to spend $20,000 to make $100.
Yeah, 20,000 is the highest, so to go minus 20,000.
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, you know, Cam Ward was the pick here. Quarterback out of Miami, looked great. Some people like the knock on him was he was a little lazy. But
Sure. And I think there was some. I think there was a knock on like some of his like attitude, and which I'm always pro confident quarterback. You got to be confident. There is a line between like whether it's, you know, false arrogance or whatever, but
we'll get to that in round 5.
But Cam Ward, he's growing on me day by day. What's the expectations for you with Tennessee adding Cam Ward? What's the expectations for Calvin Ridley?
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's a stat, you know, of rookie quarterbacks. It's hard to produce like a 1,000-yard, 1,200-yard receiver.
Mm-hmm.
It happens, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, C.J. Stroud did it.
Mm-hmm.
And just in recent history, obviously, there's been more. But Cam Ward, I think the ceiling is like a 11-win season.
Oh, that's.
I think that's the ceiling. That's the best it'll be.
Yeah,
Because it's a weak division.
Yeah,
You know, the Jags are the Jags.
the Jags are sitting right there with. I mean, you know,
Exactly. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, the Texans in a slump.
We'll
Not
get to
really
them.
sure what's going on with the head coach there. What's going to happen with
We'll get to
with
them.
that. So, it's a weak division, but I don't think 11 wins is what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you think that's just what
I think that's the best case scenario.
No injuries, they develop them the way they need to develop
starts
them.
off, like 4-4 maybe.
Yeah.
4-5, and then you start winning some more games.
That is the ceiling.
Yeah. I think realistically, though, you're probably going to see 8-9.
I think that's
you got a good wide receiver class coming in next year. You draft a receiver. I mean, right now it's just a bunch of older dudes anyway.
Yeah, I probably would project them. We haven't gotten to our final. That'll get more towards like preseason,
which is going to be so exciting. It's one of my favorite episodes of the year.
I know when we predict the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
We get college football and that podcast in the same weekend.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah,
but I do expect them to be a little more competitive. Will Levis, what they were getting at quarterback last year was it was unacceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be turning the ball over like Will Levis and have a guy back there like Will Levis.
Yeah.
But
his brother just got drafted by the Saints.
But Cam Ward, it was the obvious pick. It's a shame that I just feel like Shedeur kind of took the spotlight away from Cam Ward. No, enough wasn't talked about Cam Ward in this draft, and it's kind of a shame because I feel like he was worth a lot of media. A lot of I don't know.
For sure, he's a football guy through and through. There's no nonsense about him. Yeah. Here we go again talking about Shedeur in the Cam Ward section. But there's the video of him and Shedeur that camped together, whatever it was, and Shedeur's like, "Hey man, let's make a song." And Cam Ward's like, "Nah, man, I'm a football player.
Yeah. He's like,
I want
to only be known for football."
Yeah, I love that.
That's the guy you want.
That's a football guy's football guy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. He's starting to grow on me, and I think that if it goes poorly, I think that I'm willing to go ahead and say that it might just be that the coaching staff was good or was terrible, and
I don't know, man.
They
I
missed
believe in
it,
Brian Callahan.
I want to believe too.
I mean, he was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals.
I want to believe too
during that incredible run they had.
So we'll see.
I believe in Brian Callahan. Yeah. I just think they haven't had this piece, and I think this piece could do a lot, man. I feel like I look at him. Not as good highly as I look at Caleb Williams, but kind of close.
I think it's close.
I think it's pretty close. He's got the right attitude, and he's got all the right metrics. He does. A very strong arm.
Can throw accurate from any side of the field across his body.
What was that video where he threw it 75 yards across the field and hit the crossbar?
Oh yeah, that's
insane.
He's got arm talent, he can make every throw. He can escape the pocket. He's got mobility. He can throw on the run.
Perfect size. So I'm pretty excited about him. I think, like you were asking earlier, though, for Calvin Ridley. What's the ceiling for him? 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns.
I like that.
Maybe?
I think if he hits 1,200 yards, he's probably somewhere around 6 to 8 touchdowns.
Yeah. And that's high.
That's high. That's the ceiling.
I think 6 touchdowns is probably fair, though. I think realistically, what's going to happen is probably 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns.
I think that's pretty accurate.
That's a great season for Calvin Ridley. That's like the best. I think that might be close to the ceiling.
Yeah, and I think the floor is 804, 803.
Which sucks.
If it goes poorly, and then is Will Levis still there?
Yeah.
Oh man, how bad would that feel to see him walk back out there if you're a Tennessee fan?
But for entertainment purposes,
for us, nice.
Not good either. I like Cam Ward. I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
happen.
I don't either.
But I think we can move on to number 2. We believe in Cam Ward. I think it's going to be very good for the franchise.
I think so too.
But we'll see what happens as far as coaching staff, and that's a problem that we've seen, quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence go through.
Yeah,
where he's never had a locked in, or like Sam Darnold, with Adam Gase and all those terrible coaching problems they've had. So, but let's move on to number 2. The trade, obviously. The Browns trade back to number 5.
Did it shock you?
Yes.
It shocked me too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The Browns, I think they ate. They were very full off of that trade. They got a second round. They got another first round. And they only moved back 3 spots and still got to draft a great pick. We'll talk about that pick.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, I get it. He's he's worth 2 picks because he's basically 2 players. His ceiling is incredible. His ceiling is the highest in the draft.
I think his ceiling is Justin Jefferson. I think that he can hit that.
No, I think that's not what I mean. I'm saying his ceiling is Justin Jefferson and the best DB in the league. I mean, not the best, but that's his ceiling though.
He can, be
able to play both sides as a number 1.
I thought he was a better DB coming out of.
I did too.
But the more I've watched of Travis Hunter, I think that he can absolutely produce 1,000 yards at receiver. I think, I think he's great. I mean, I think it was the obvious pick. I think we're entering a time now in the NFL where it's win now, so these new head coaches are going to be a little bit more desperate. And if these general managers are okay with them, sometimes it depends on whether the ownership gives them the ability to go draft crazy and make trades, because it's the first time in the year. You got to keep it simple, because who knows if this dude's going to even be here.
Yeah.
But Liam Cohen, Duval, the goofy guy.
Yeah.
He, offensive-minded guy.
Yeah, came from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
That offense flourished in the last 2 years.
Exactly. I mean, we can see why he has a head coaching job.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting his piece, and you're going to see these coaches, if they have the ability to trade the future where they may or may not even be here at, to go get their guy, they're going to do it. And Travis Hunter is their guy, so I understand trading up. They gave up a good bit, but, I mean, to have Travis Hunter, to have Brian Thomas Jr., did they draft a running back in this draft?
Yes, they did in the 6th round. Bashal Tootin.
Okay. So
Solid.
So they're still
Solid.
fine with Etienne and Tate Bigsby. Trevor Lawrence, I still believe.
I still believe in Etienne and Lawrence.
And Brenton Strange, they drafted in the 2nd round last year, was productive.
Yeah.
They said, let's get rid of Evan Ingram. We've gotten enough miles off of him.
Sorry, it was the 4th round. Bashal Tootin. Virginia State running back.
Okay. So maybe,
was solid.
Maybe you'll see him. Maybe
he was
you
a fun
won't.
prospect.
Yeah. But Travis Hunter's going to produce at receiver. Liam Cohen's going to have him playing both sides of the ball. That's why he traded up for him. He's going to have him playing both sides, and we'll see what happens. Will the volume break him down in the NFL? He is a little undersized, a little slim, but that's okay. Devontae Adams is a little slim. Amazing.
Devontae Smith is a little
Devontae Smith, I'm sorry. That's who I meant.
I was thinking Adams, kind of fucking girthy.
Yeah, he is. He's
Big boy.
strong, but yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think it's good for Jacksonville. I think that I expect them to be competitive in that division. Them, or who has a better season, Jacksonville or Tennessee?
Jacksonville.
I would agree with that.
Liam Cohen, more offensive minded. The locker room is very fresh. I think the Jags fan base was very rejuvenated to see that aggression in the draft, which you don't see very often.
You don't.
And what that aggression tells me is that this is the last shot for Trevor Lawrence. This is his last opportunity.
They got to make it work. If it doesn't work,
as a head coach coming in new, you got 3 years more than likely, 2 to 3 years. Like at the worst, you got probably 2 years,
unless it goes some kind of way like Gruden or Josh McDaniels, where
or
you lose the
Meyer.
locker room. If you lose the locker room,
sure,
it's over.
But even then, Josh McDaniels was there for 2 years, right? I think it was 2.
I thought it was 1.
Either way, worst case scenario, but just from bad play,
sure.
you got probably 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, look at Brian Daboll, who we can talk about next. But that tells me that he believes in Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He believes in Travis Etienne, and he's going up there and he's laying it all. He's letting his nuts hang, dude.
Yeah.
And I respect.
I do too.
I respect it. I mean,
he's going for it.
You don't have to do that as a new coach either. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have easily sat there at 5 and taken Mason Graham or Ashton Genty, whoever you wanted. Probably Mason Graham, because it seems like they believe in Etienne.
They do.
But instead, you go out there and you get help for your quarterback, who's on his last leg.
Yeah.
Who hasn't really seen the prospect he was coming out of college. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude! I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
I know.
I didn't think that was possible.
But kind of look at the start. I feel like a lot of people are kind of out on Trevor Lawrence. I get it. It's looked bad. A lot of turnovers. A lot of I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has been tough though. He's hung in there. He's played injured every single year. He started with Urban Meyer, dude, like a frat boy as a coach.
And
then it turns into the Doug Peterson experience. We know what that can be.
Super Bowl.
And when it falls off the rails after the first
year,
it's like the honeymoon phase. Once the honeymoon phase is over for Doug Peterson, it's like there's a pattern of it getting bad. And then now he's going into a third offensive coordinator. Is this his third, right? Third or fourth? Third offensive
third OC,
OC, I think. And
that'd be fourth.
It's going to be a new offense. Of course, Trevor Lawrence is going to bring some ideas that he likes too into that offense for some comfort. But
Liam Cohen's going to help with that a lot.
Liam Cohen is going to help.
Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield are very similar to me.
You think so?
Both very strong arms.
Yeah.
Kind of a gunslinger type.
For sure.
And
both
got wheels. Yeah. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is more mobile than
Trevor Lawrence
Baker. But Baker has a higher IQ to me. But he's also been in the league longer, so he should.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm excited about this. Trevor Lawrence, he's got potential. I still believe. But would you rather have Trevor Lawrence or Sam Darnold at this point?
Trevor Lawrence.
And I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
And you saw what Sam Darnold did last. Okay, it's Trevor Lawrence or Sam Darnold, I think, last year. Sam Darnold last year or Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has the potential to hit that this year.
I think so too.
And I think
Dude,
that's
look
where
at the
people are missing.
playmakers around him. Brenton Strange is going to be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Brenton Strange is going to be fine. Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk's still there.
I think they got rid of him.
Did they?
I think so.
I didn't think they did.
Yeah, I
thought
think
was still
he
there.
went to maybe he's still there, but I'm pretty sure he left. I think he went to Houston.
Let's see. Yep, he's at Houston.
Yeah.
I don't know why they. That's okay. But yeah,
No, I agree.
not bad. It's still not bad though. He's got good weapons.
It could be an
and
explosive top 10 offense at the ceiling.
It could be exactly.
I don't know if it'll be that.
But Travis Hunter, we
But you
haven't
gotta
talked
hope.
enough about him.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ceiling is through the roof. I mean, if he hits his ceiling, he'll be one of the best players in the NFL.
Yeah.
And next year, if he hits his
Yeah.
ceiling in the next few
He looks
years,
amazing.
I mean,
attacks the football is never scared when people are like aggressive against him in close
very
contact.
good hands, good route running.
Yes,
He's fast.
yes. He focuses on the ball, attacks the football.
If he can stay healthy, it's an incredible pick, and the trade was worth it. But
Yep.
that's the risk.
But you know
and
what? Liam Cohen's letting his nuts hang.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Abdul Carter at 3.
The right pick.
Yeah, it's the right pick.
I mean,
the best player of the draft, arguably.
look, I can't remember who was the other D tackle. Was it TJ Sanders that went there?
No.
They drafted
TJ
another
Sanders
D
from the
tackle,
Bills,
I think in the second or third round. But it's very clear to me what.
TJ Sanders went to the Bills.
Okay, I forget who the third or second round D tackle they drafted, who was pretty solid. I mean,
The Giants didn't have a second round pick, so they traded up for Jackson.
That's right, so it was a
Dart
third
at
round.
25.
So with their
it was from Toledo, Darius Alexander.
yes, so their first two of their first 3 picks, focusing on the defensive line. You already have Dexter Lawrence there. You add Abdul Carter. You got Thibodeau there, who's in a contract year, but he's going to be amazing off the edge. You're beefing up that D line because you know what Philly's about to bring to you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They
not
they
to
have
mention-
to be able to stop that.
Not to mention, I mean, they still went out there and got a good running back in Cam Scadaboo, which
Mhm.
we'll talk about.
Yep.
They got their quarterback,
Jackson Dart.
and they still have Malik Neighbors, who was great. And they got Russell Wilson and Jameis, who could get you a good year and let Jackson
Yeah.
Dart sit and learn from Russ.
That's a wild.
Jackson Dart is really mobile. I think Russ
Oh,
is
yeah.
a very good quarterback, a veteran for him to learn from.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. What I was about to get to.
Quarterback room
It's like if you're Jackson Dart and you're coming in to like get mentored by 2 guys.
that are fucking insane.
I mean, it's 2 opposite ends of the spectrum as far as
There's a spectrum, all right.
There's the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, man. You got like a mobile improviser who's a field general in himself, who's the ultimate non-turnover machine. He wants to protect the ball. He's in the game manager part of his life. Started as an improviser in Russell Wilson, who's going to teach him how to be a legit pro.
Which I think Russell Wilson is great for Malik Neighbors.
I think it is too. It gives him a safe
Very
floor.
accurate across the middle.
It's a safe floor, yeah. From Malik
Worst
Neighbors.
case is obviously,
Malik Neighbors, I mean, there's no
Yeah.
safer pick in fantasy right now. You
Oh,
have
Malik
hope
Neighbors,
on
he
all
could get hurt.
3 levels. I
I
feel like,
concussion last year, but
yeah, that's it. Yeah, but he isn't.
happens.
He don't have a track record yet.
that's right.
You
Yeah.
know, like a Puka Nacua or somebody.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But Jackson Dart, I think there's potential there for me. I think he reminds me a lot of Kenny Pickett. The arm isn't strong. There's some down the field issues, but the combine was promising.
Yeah.
You looked at the combine. I mean, he threw the ball really, really well at the combine. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
a lot of the knock on him was Lane Kiffin and the spread
of course.
offense. I don't really. I do get behind that and subscribe to that narrative a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit. But I think with Jackson Dart, he's an athlete. You know, he's got an arm that's capable of, when he's in the right system, he can make some plays. And I think that he's gonna have to sit. You don't want Jackson Dart at the start of your franchise right now.
No, he's
'Cause
not ready.
He's not
NFL
ready. He's not NFL ready. But if he can sit, get mentored by these guys, there's promise there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's promise there.
Yeah, and like you said, they beefed up the defense. The secondary is pretty solid, but the front D line, I mean, it's fucking stacked.
Stout.
Dude. It's really good, and
You draft
I think-
to win your division.
yeah, they did, and
that's
I
what they're
think
trying to
that,
do.
I don't know. I think the Giants are big winners in this draft with Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo and Abdul Carter and the D tackle from Toledo.
Yep.
I think they're big winners in this
I
draft.
think they
to
did
me.
great, especially because they didn't subscribe to the Shedeur Sanders experience and drafted him too early.
Yeah.
I think me and you both, you maybe had him projected as a 3rd round pick. I had him in the 2nd. Was it 3rd for you?
Yeah, I think he should have been a 3rd, but I had him in the 2nd going to the Saints.
Okay, I had him in the 2nd too, going in that range.
Yeah.
Probably the Saints I thought was the best fit for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the best fit for the Saints. We'll talk about that when we get there. But I really like what the Giants did. I like what they've done. They've drafted to you. You always draft to win your division first.
Yeah.
They have to do something with how physical and how dominant the Philadelphia Eagles have been at the line of scrimmage. You know they're going to bring Saquon Barkley, and I mean the physicality that they bring A.J. Brown in the run game is phenomenal. His blocking is solid.
Yeah, and same with Dallas Goedert, who are keeping.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be physical. They're going to be a set up to repeat again. You got to beef up the D-line. Add in Abdul Carter with Dexter Lawrence and Thibodeau, and just beefing it up is what they had to do.
Yeah.
And they got their quarterback. They got 3 quarterbacks that are pretty competent.
Yeah, 4.
I mean, well, I'm not going to say that.
Shawn DeVito, he's not very good.
Jameis Winston isn't competent. If it comes to Jameis Winston, at least it'll be exciting on Sunday.
For fantasy football, yeah.
And for fantasy football, and Malik Neighbors will be happy. So he don't want to leave exactly for the exciting whites. The exciting for the exciting whites. But
he's just a corner who locked up your number 1.
Yeah.
You heard that song? Oh, it's Billie Jean, but it's Cooper DeJean.
Oh, I might have seen that.
He's just a corner who locked up your number 1. That's good. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Abdul Carter, obviously, there's nothing more to say about him. I think he was the best player in the draft.
And
then Travis Hunter's a close second.
Benz can beat. You want to talk about rushing the passer for a minute. 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drops in the NFL. Abdul Carter's beating the guy to the spot.
Fast,
the 5-step drops, he's going to bend and beat you to the spot.
He's another Micah Parsons.
And if that's the comp,
coming out
for sure.
It makes sense.
It's the comp. And when you overcommit to the speed, he has the finesse to spin back inside and just attack the quarterback. Yeah. A dream, honestly, if I was Cleveland, I would have definitely considered, and I'm sure they did.
With him and Myles Garrett.
Him and Myles Garrett would have been.
I think Cleveland couldn't have done it any better.
I think the consensus on Cleveland is going to be extremely good or extremely bad. Because I think that missing out on Travis Hunter is going to make people feel really bad.
But they still had Denzel Ward, and they got Mason Graham. And
I like what Cleveland did.
Mason Graham,
me,
Denzel Ward, and Myles Garrett.
To me, I think Cleveland did very well.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're big winners in this, especially with the 5th round pick they got.
I think that this going to be very. I think they're going to be very controversial. We're going to see grades all over the place for Cleveland.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's an A+. I thought they did good.
Yeah,
but losing Travis Hunter, who I think is a potential gold jacket winner.
Yeah,
if you Mason Graham better pan out, and some of these other picks that you have better hit. We'll see, but.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't miss. I mean, because
before we get too deep into the Browns, let's talk about Will Campbell. How do you feel about it, man? He's gonna bring his Tony Satcheries with him. In his backpack.
Is he?
Where he goes. That's what he said.
Did he say that? I missed that. I am optimistic. I love Will Campbell. I love the player. I love what I've seen on the tape. I've seen, 1,000 players in the SEC. 1,000 snaps. Played at LSU 3 years. Gave up 2 sacks. Has locked down that side for that team and has been a dog for that team for 3 years.
Not going to be an Amazon worker, hopefully.
Hopefully not. That's a fun video.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, he's got a lot of character. He's a leader.
He does.
He
is
a leader.
Yeah.
And LSU has talked about that. Mike Vrabel has talked about that. But
after he put the pads on and felt it.
And oh man, I really want to see that tape.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to see that tape. I hope he blasted Mike Vrabel.
I hope Mike Vrabel blasted him, honestly. I want to see the old guy still have it.
But I love the pick. It's the pick I would have made. It's the pick they should have made. But there is cause for concern with Will Campbell. Legitimate cause for concern for Will Campbell.
Sure,
and I'm going to bring up all the cause for concerns. I've seen it. I've seen the tape. I watched like 300 snaps of Will Campbell. He's a magnet to the D end. So unbelievably athletic. But he did measure really, really low on his reach. And that means a lot. And that means something. What that means is if he was to start last year at left tackle, he would have had the second worst reach in the NFL at left tackle. That number those kind of numbers don't happen by accident. You know, the left tackle's job, especially when you're going against the left tackle's job, is to protect the blind side. We know that, obviously. The left side's always going to have more of a speedster, the Joey Bosa, the Micah Parsons, the guy who can get back there the fastest. The other side usually has like a more you can elect to go pass rusher, but usually it's like a run stopper. You know, because usually the quarterback's going to roll out to his throwing side. So you're going to have a guy who can contain the edge. That's just, you know, just typical builds. But Will Campbell, the left tackle's last hope is to drive the guy past, extend his arms, drive the guy past the quarterback. Quarterback's job is to step up into the pocket. Right. Shedeur Sanders has problems with that. So did Baker Mayfield. It's a coachable. You can coach that out.
It's hard, though.
You can coach that out, but it starts with comfort.
Kyler Murray.
Definitely.
Jalen Hurts.
Will Campbell, he's got the – if he was to draft him in Madden, he would have the T-Rex trait.
Yeah.
He would have the T-Rex trait. He's got slim shoulders. Some people say he looks like a bowling pin. Wide on the bottom, slim shoulders up top, and he does.
Yeah,
he does. And I think it's a cause for concern. A lot of people there's already questions for Vrabel he's had to answer about if you have to move Will Campbell inside at guard, do you feel like this was a wasted pick? Vrabel's answers was, no. We've done enough research on this guy. He's athletic. We feel very confident. And I do too, watching the tape. But
and that is a
it's a cause for
a lot
concern.
Of tackles coming out of the draft. Is that most of them get moved to guard because they can't play tackle in the NFL. It's hard. It's one of the hardest positions. That's why left tackles go in the top 10 typically
because they have to block the most athletic freaks in football,
like Micah Parsons or
Myles Garrett.
Come
on, man.
Watt,
TJ Watt, like these are the most athletic freaks in football.
Yeah, for
We're talking about guys who are 6'6", can run 4.4s, and are
Grady Jarrett.
260. Yeah, they're freaks. I mean, we'll talk about Shamar Stewart when we get to him.
Yeah,
but
he's not. We don't have to worry about him getting to the quarterback.
That's right.
But yeah, Will Campbell, I think is the right pick.
Yes.
Him or Kelvin Banks, I think would have been very fine.
I agree.
Or Mark Mimbo. Not so much Mimbo just because he's a right tackle, and that wasn't what was needed for the Patriots. But yeah, I think Will Campbell's great. I mean, like you said, 2 sacks given up in 1,000 snaps. I mean, that's incredible.
In the SEC,
incredible.
He's done it consistently. But I will say, there are players that gave him fits. Kyle Kennard was one of them.
Yeah.
Kyle Kennard gave Will Campbell some problems.
Yeah.
And you look at the Senior Bowl, there's a D tackle out of Arkansas. I can't remember who drafted him in the 3rd-ish round. He also
was it the Cardinals? No. It might have been the Bills. I know you're talking about the bald dude.
Yes, I think that was him.
Landon Jackson?
That might have been him. That might have been
Bills
him.
Got him, yeah.
Gave
Jackson.
Will Campbell a problem too. I like Will Campbell.
Yeah, Landon Jackson's a fucking animal, dude.
He's a warrior.
Insanely athletic freak. Josh Dobbs 2.0.
Gave Will Campbell problems in the Senior Bowl. You said what?
Josh Dobbs 2.0.
Yeah, for real.
It's like ugly as shit, dude.
Yeah, no eyebrows, just like bald ass.
He is.
But I'm here to tell you, after they drafted him, and he said he had the speech after the draft. Will Campbell, what will you bring? What kind of tone will you set for this offensive line and Drake May? And he said, I will fight and die to protect with everything I have. And I'm just like, got my football.
Let's go!
I'm so fucking excited for this guy, man.
You should be, man.
I'm excited for Will Campbell because it protects Drake May. It's the right pick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike Vrabel, for
somebody
not
that'll be there for a while, too.
Yeah.
Offensive tackles tend to stay. They're very loyal.
And if they do have to move him to guard,
good.
He's an all-pro guard.
That's right.
I mean, if you go and pull him a guard like you do Quentin Nelson, he don't have the power like Quentin Nelson because Quentin Nelson's a legitimate guard.
Yeah.
300 pounds plus, can move like an athletic freak, though. Quentin Nelson's not playing left tackle, but inside the trenches, Will Campbell can be very, very athletic and get to the next level, maybe even to the secondary level. He's so athletic.
He's fast.
Yeah.
It's the fastest 40 time for tackles, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you'll have to we'll see. I mean, even if he does fail at left tackle, I will be upset. Be upset. But at least you still have an all-pro guard.
Yeah,
you can move inside. Maybe you address left tackle later. But regardless, the entire offensive line was one of the worst I've ever seen at New England.
It was horrible.
And one last little bit before we move on from New England, I think that Mike Vrabel is changing the culture there. They drafted as such. They've paid and spent their money as such. They're going to be very physical. They've added physical players at all levels on the defense. And Milton Williams, The linebacker Landry out of Tennessee, great at stopping the run, and a pretty good edge rusher too. And Carlton Davis from Detroit, defensive-minded coach Mike Vrabel. I think there's a lot to look forward to. And they drafted all offensive linemen, everything to protect Drake May, getting Stephon Diggs. We'll see what happens there. I'm not a big Diggs guy, you know that, but I think the expectations is a 500, but a 500 season. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Winning the division obviously is the goal.
Yeah.
But with the Bills there, I think it's going to be. I think wild card is possible.
I think it is too, and I think that
I think like 11 wins, 12 wins, is very
ceiling.
possible.
Yeah, I think he's already changing the culture, and Mike Vrabel's going to bring a competitive team every single week. It doesn't matter who is going to show up
for sure.
And they want to do that. Chargers, Greg Roman. I think that's what they're going to bring. Get Ladd McConkey will be their Stephon Diggs. Short yardage, pound the football. You drafted nothing but O-line. You addressed nothing but O-line. There's 6 or 7, maybe even 8 new offensive linemen coming in to replace the garbage they had last year.
Yeah, it was bad, for sure.
And they're looking to run the football with Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. Really excited for.
Are you
really excited? Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah. I'm
done.
I'm sorry. I'm done. For
yeah.
the New England
we talked about
experience.
We talked about Mason Graham a little bit, the D tackle out of Michigan. Very good run stopper. I mean, it's perfect what they need. They need interior help. The Browns did, and drafted him at 5. I mean, you trade back and still get one of the best players in the draft.
Yeah.
Which you should. I mean, top 5 pick. You should be making the right picks there.
Right.
It's kind of hard to mess up those picks. Just auto draft it, and you're going to do good.
Mason Graham is a beast.
Yeah, he's a very good.
A little
run stopper.
heavy,
He's very legit,
and sometimes it looks a little sloppy. But as far as like just destroying the A gap and being able to push the B gap back and destroy like stretch plays, off tackle plays, drive that guard in and to disrupt it. I mean, he's the best
for sure.
tackle in the draft.
Yeah, very
the
good,
best
very
interior
good
guy.
Very
Yeah,
good D tackle.
I think
I had him as the 6th best talent in the draft.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think 5 or 6 is probably where I would
had him
have
at 6 with Abdul Carter, Hunter, Will Campbell, Genty, and Mimbo ahead of him. Mimbo just being a talent at right tackle.
I like that. Yeah, I was big on Mimbo.
If Mimbo could play left tackle, I would probably have him over Will Campbell because of the strength and the speed.
Yeah.
But he never played left tackle, so I can't do that. I mean, left tackle is more important in the NFL.
Yeah.
But Mason Graham, I got him at 6 as far as talent in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But the Browns, I mean, we talked about them for a little bit a second ago. The Browns, they killed it in my opinion.
I think so too.
And they have They have 2 first rounds for next year too. So it's like everything with the Watson stuff is over with pretty much, except for the money. But they only have 1 more year or 2 more years of that. I think it's only 1 more year. So I mean, they're in a good spot to really succeed. The problem is the quarterback room, obviously. But
let's talk about it. Since
you want to go ahead and talk about it now?
Let's talk about the quarterback.
All right, Joe
room.
Flacco is obviously starting the season.
He's the most experienced guy. He can manage the game better than anybody on that roster right now.
Unless Deshaun Watson's healthy, I don't want to see Deshaun Watson
What's
out
the
there.
expectations for
Cut
Deshaun
it.
Watson?
Cut it. Get him out of there.
Just go ahead and drop.
He's a locker room
You've already
cancer.
failed.
He's a locker room cancer to me.
He's a locker room cancer. I don't think for the attitude,
I don't think he wants
but
to play.
I think for the out. I think there's something to do. Yeah, I agree.
He wants to play. He just like drags it out, and like every chance he gets to not play, he doesn't play. Like you're not helping your franchise by letting him start.
He's dust, man.
Because you know long term you don't want to play him. Like you're not going to re-sign him. So why would you even waste time?
Get him out of there.
You're wasting reps for second. You're wasting second team reps for your 2 rookies that you just drafted.
Yeah.
So I think Joe Flacco comes out and starts.
I do too.
Dylan Gabriel, why did they even draft him, dude? And he's a Quinn Ewers to me. I guess maybe he's a 4th rounder, I guess 5th rounder. But I like Shedeur Sanders. I like the fact that they actually ended up sneaking away with him, even though they probably didn't want to.
It bothers me that they drafted Dylan Gabriel over him. Shedeur Sanders is going to have to overcome that mental block.
True.
Every time that they're in practice and Dylan Gabriel's getting reps, I'm sure he's counting them. He's keeping count of the reps. That's what you're going to do. Mental count. Like he got 36. I got 30 today.
Is he going to be the next Amon-Ra?
The next day I got 28. He got 37. You know what I'm saying? I think that I have my doubts about Shedeur Sanders. Just looking at him as a prospect, the ball comes out slow. He's a guy who keeps his eyes downfield. That's his best quality. His best quality is
he's accurate too. He's very
accurate. Well, I'll take that back. You're right. He's his best quality is he's extremely accurate from the middle of the field and intermediate to short range. He's very, very accurate across the middle, but
74% completion rating is insane.
It's insane.
It's very good,
it's
especially
that
42
number right there
yards
is why he's a second round. It is the ceiling is a second round pick right there. Yeah. Is because he's extremely accurate, and if he was in the right system, who I thought was the Sean McVay system with the highs and lows, the high and low concepts that we saw with Puka and Cooper Kupp, the Sean McVay system, they run so many high-low concepts over the middle of the field.
I think the thing with the Rams is they didn't need a draft quarterback. They can just wait till next year when the class is way better.
And maybe that was the right move. But I'm just speaking for like the landing spot for Shedeur Sanders himself. They throw a lot over the middle. That would have been the perfect landing spot for him. The weather,
like the 49ers
is absolute. The 49ers would have been great. Kittle would have been a blanket for him. Pittsburgh would have been a horrible place. And Mike Tomlin made the right decision selecting Derek Harmon. I had him mocked, Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
There. You know, everybody thought, most people thought that they were going either Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders. But Derek Harmon is what they needed. They needed an insanely good run stopper up the A gap, and they got that.
Yeah, for sure. I
we'll
agree.
We'll get to them. I know I'm getting off topic here, but Shedeur Sanders has a problem with not climbing the pocket. He has the Baker Mayfield trait of he leaks out to try, and it's a timing issue in your head.
Well, the offensive line for Colorado was horrible.
Was not that great, and he tends to leak out when there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield did this, and it's a hard trait to get over because it's a habit.
Yeah.
When you feel pressure, it's a natural habit to try to escape it.
And you create more.
And you create more pressure.
Because that edge rusher can get off the tackle.
Yes.
He doesn't have to go through the tackle and go around him.
As soon as your body language commits to breaking outside, the DN's number one job since he was in 10 and under, 12 and under has been to contain the edge. They teach you that 101.
Yeah.
Can Shedeur Sanders overcome climbing the pocket? I think he can. I don't know if the Browns have the ability to develop him. I think that's still up in the air. I think that the fact that they drafted Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders is criminal.
Yeah, drafting both of them doesn't make any sense to me.
Coming back and getting to Sanders made sense in that round.
Yeah. I don't think drafting Gabriel at all doesn't make sense to me.
I haven't looked at
he doesn't look good, dude. Watching his tape, he doesn't look that good.
He doesn't look good.
He's shy. He's kind of inaccurate. He doesn't have that good arm talent.
I totally agree with all of that. He's a little athletic on his feet.
Yeah, he's fast.
He's got some decent footwork. The release is okay. But yeah, I mean, we're talking seam routes down the middle of the field where guys are having to turn around and catch the football. The arm strength is just not there.
73% completion there for Dylan
He's
Gabriel.
accurate.
Yeah, accurate.
He's accurate.
30 touchdowns, 6 picks.
But I'll be honest, a lot of the tape, and I haven't seen
21 sacks last year.
Held onto the ball.
Sacked 21 times last year.
And all the highlights, I haven't seen the tape. I watched an entire game. I watched an entire game of Dylan Gabriel versus Syracuse or Illinois, one of the two.
It's probably Illinois.
This past year, the pocket was clean during all the highlights. I watched every snap of that game this morning, actually, because I knew this topic was coming up, and I hadn't seen anything on Dylan Gabriel. So I watched a complete game of them, and I took away everything you said, 100%. The weak arm, the accurate, but like when he has to drive through the football down through like a seam route.
Who does that remind you of? Shedeur Sanders?
Yes.
Except you know what the difference is between Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel?
What's that?
About 20 sacks. Shedeur Sanders got sacked 42 times last year and 52 times the year before.
Shedeur Sanders holds onto the ball too long.
Yeah. He's a Spencer Rattler to me. I've been saying it all year. He's Spencer Rattler 2.0. Accurate across the middle. Terrible attitude. Holds onto the ball too long. Creates pressure on himself. That's why I said he should have been a third-round pick. And I think Dylan Gabriel's better about not creating pressure, but I just don't think he has the arm talent that Shedeur does.
I think Dylan Gabriel, based off what I've seen, I haven't seen it all. I think he went too early.
Oh, he went way too early.
Yeah,
he's a fifth, sixth.
I know some people
fourth. I mean, it's whatever.
That's probably the ceiling for him.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. From 4 to 6, it's like who do you believe in? Scheme fits.
Yeah, who do you love?
Who do you love?
Wait, he went in the fifth.
Was it fifth?
It was the fifth. Dylan Sampson. They drafted Dylan Sampson in the fourth.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's very
Dylan
fun.
Sampson and Judkins.
Wait. It might have been the third. I was thinking it was early too.
Yeah, the
Dylan
Browns
Gabriel's
are.
the third round pick.
There's
Sorry.
a
That's
lot.
crazy to me.
It's not going. I'm here to say it's not going to be good for the Browns next year.
No, it's not.
There's a mixed bag of.
Not enough wide receiver help.
Yeah,
The line is weak.
Yeah,
Defense is solid, but when
defense
they're on
is
the
solid.
field,
The linebacker,
when they're on the field for 40 minutes a
Schwerin,
game.
what was the linebacker? Out of UCLA that they drafted first he is a fucking great.
Oh, yeah. Carson, Schwinzinger?
Schlesinger, I think.
Schlesinger,
Yeah, that guy's a good linebacker.
I could just look at
Probably-
it. I could just look it up. I have the draft board right
Probably
here.
from what I've seen,
I'd like to guess.
the second right there, the second best linebacker. I mean, Jahad Campbell.
Yeah.
We'll get to him, but
Yeah.
I like
And
that pick.
obviously Jalen Walker, but he's an edge rusher, but still a linebacker.
Yeah, for sure. Jalen Walker can play off ball, on ball. He can do it all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we can move on from the Browns.
Yeah. Expectation next year, off the top of your head, without looking at the schedule.
7-10.
I think that's fair. I think that's optimistic.
7-10. I think they're in a tough division.
Yeah.
Super tough division.
Oh man,
The Bengals are probably going to sweep them. The Ravens probably sweep them. The Steelers go 1-1.
that's fair. I think that's
That's a lot of losses. That's 6 losses,
that'll
5
be-
losses right there.
yeah. They're gonna lose a lot of games, but you know what? The preseason just became exciting.
It
I want to
did.
see these guys.
It's interesting.
Let
yeah,
them
it's interesting.
compete.
Number 6, dude, Ashton Genty. Come on.
We all knew it. I
Come on.
mean,
Best running back talent we've seen since Bijan Robinson last year.
yeah, for real. The comp is LT
Jameer
though. I mean,
Gibbs,
he
yeah,
can do it
for
all. Low center gravity balance is
5'9",
insane.
216.
He's a bowling ball. He's a cannonball. He's
Yeah,
a
he
cannonball.
is.
You ever seen The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
There's that scene where the cannonball is like rolling and breaking everybody's legs through the thing.
that's
That's Ashton Genty.
Yeah. Incredible tackle break, dude. I wonder how many tackles he broke last year. Let's pull that up.
And it was definitely the most in the
Over-
FBS.
I would say close to 100. I
He
bet it's a
didn't
lot.
run a combine, did he? Why would he?
No, I don't think he did. It would be stupid.
I would want to know because I think it's 4.3. I think it's high
He's
4.3.
fast. I know he had breakaway touchdown speed. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw him do it every game.
Yes.
Every game, the whole year.
Yes. I
Every
think it's
single game.
4.3.
Except for against Penn State.
Which is now we're talking Jonathan Taylor.
Incredible, dude.
I mean, Ashton Genty's going to do it all. He's going to go around. We talked about it. McCaffrey or Ashton Genty this year in fantasy football redrafts.
106 broken tackles last year.
Jeez,
And I said it had to be around 100. I mean, I figured
average
he was,
5 point what?
Oh, there's no telling.
It
what
might
he
be like
averaged.
7
It was probably
something.
like 7.
Yeah.
It was the
Was
beginning
it?
of the year.
I remember that. Yeah. Remember you just you started getting these
7 exactly.
Is
7 on
7?
the dot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's get pull these stats up. We'll read this out
Listen,
real quick.
Pete Carroll's going to got 10 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, he had 374 carries for 2,600 yards, 29 touchdowns.
He's going to get him 10 touchdowns this
Average
year.
7 yards a carry. His longest was 77.
The floor of Ashton Genty. What's the floor of Ashton Genty in fantasy this year?
He's going to start week 1.
I know.
It's going to be 1,400 yards.
That's the floor.
I mean, 1,200 yards maybe is the floor.
Okay. I like it. The
O-line's solid,
I'm not
dude.
disagreeing. I think that's
What do I think will happen is 1,400. His floor is probably 1,000.
okay. I think his floor is like 1150.
Yeah, 1,000 to
6
1,200,
touchdowns if it goes poorly and it
6
goes off the
touchdowns.
rails. If it goes off the rails and goes poorly, like Geno Smith gets hurt, O'Connell or whoever's back out there, and they have to.
O'Connell wasn't bad for Jacoby Myers though, and Brock Bowers.
That's
they can
fair.
move the field.
That's fair.
With
And maybe
Genty-
Ashton Genty would elevate them, but
Oh yeah, for
okay.
sure.
The floor.
I still believe in Aiden O'Connell, man. The
Okay, I'll
deep ball
give you 8.
guy.
I'll give you 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns and
Floor.
1,200 yards.
1150 and 8 is the floor. I
I'm
can't
going-
go 8
I'm
as
going-
the floor.
I'm
I'm gonna go
going-
6.
I'm
gonna
going
go 6.
1,006
Brock
is the
Bowers could
floor.
just get like 16 and just soak up so many
I'm going
touchdowns.
1,006 is the floor.
1,006 is the floor is good.
What I think is going to happen is 1,400 yards. I think it's a 1,400 yard.
I'm gonna
rush.
go first year. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm gonna go 1275 on the ground. I'm gonna go 450 in the air.
I don't think he gets that much receiving
450's a
work.
lot.
I don't think he gets. He only had 300 last year.
Yeah, let's go with 275 in the air, and let's go with 12 touchdowns. I think
Sorry, he had 138 last year receiving, but the year before he had 569.
okay.
with 5 touchdowns.
He's LT. He's
I'm
gonna get
saying
it
he's
all.
going to go 200 receiving yards, 1,400 rushing.
Who's coming off the bench to spell him? Nobody.
Nobody.
McCormick. Okay.
Nobody. And he stayed healthy all year last
Ashton
year.
Genty's gonna get. Pete Carroll's winning now.
Dude, he rushed for 374 attempts last year. He had 374 carries. Dude's going to rush for at least 1,200.
Expectations for the Raiders next year? Max Crosby still there, still
I'm
insane.
saying they're going to win a lot of fucking games.
I think
dude.
I'm
11
big.
win season.
I love that.
I think 11 wins is a very mid-range.
11-6. Is that what it would be?
11-6, yeah. Fucking hate that. I hate having to think
it
about
too.
it.
I
I
know.
have to think
It
about
used
it.
to be 11-5. 11-6. And I hate that 11 wins feels a little bit worse now because you get the extra loss.
All right.
If you get 11 wins, it's like
Yeah.
11-5.
11-5
so much
was
better.
great.
Yeah, it sounds great.
11-6 is shit.
Yeah.
It's a wild card.
Yeah. But I think that's right. I think the experience of Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, the system's already locked in. They're already like this. They've been through it. That's his guy. Pete Carroll's like
Jacoby Myers,
pushing 80.
Brock Bowers.
Jacoby Myers is locked in as a solid wide receiver too. Brock Bowers is getting double covered every game.
Yeah.
That's every game. And you know what? He's still going to produce.
And he's an incredible blocker. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah, Brock Bowers
Incredible
is
blocker.
Brock Bowers is the next projected to be a top 5
Yeah.
all-time tight end to me.
Yeah, and they drafted that Iowa State DB too. The Raiders did in the 3rd round.
What's that?
God, what's his name? Something Porter.
Oh yeah, I did. I did see that. Yeah,
Just pull it up.
yeah. I hadn't seen anything. I haven't watched anything on him though.
Round 3. Yeah, Darian Porter was
Okay.
the 4th pick of the 3rd round. Solid.
Yeah.
So I watched a little bit of Iowa State because I was watching that receiver out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
Jalen something.
Harris? No. Yeah, I think the expectations for the Raiders is 11 wins. I mean, Vegas odds is probably low right now. It's probably a fun bet to go bet the over on the Raiders over under, but they're in a tough division, man. They're in a tough division.
Yeah, for sure.
Bo Nix, Sean Payton, they're going to be competitive. It's going to come down to the last drive with them. It's divisional. It's going to be competitive all the way. Jade Barron and Patrick Surtain, we'll get to them at some point. But yeah, the Chargers, Chiefs, probably the best division of football, right there.
Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. Broncos too.
All
Bo Nix,
playoff
Jesus
teams. That's
Christ,
all
yeah.
playoff teams.
Yeah, them or
One of them's not going to make
the
the playoffs.
AFC North.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Browns powerhouse, dude.
Yeah. That comes to mind
Great
second.
quarterbacks. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Raiders, I think 11 wins is very possible because other than the division, the rest of their schedule is not good. Or it's not easy. It's not hard.
Yeah.
God, I'm
Yeah.
stupid.
No,
it's
I'm
not
with
that
you.
hard of a schedule. So,
Yeah.
11 wins I feel like is what I would say is probably the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I think 9 and 8 is probably realistic. Very realistic.
Somebody's got to take a bad hit here.
So, by the way, if you guys are bettors, go ahead and go bet on the over on their wins. I think it's like 6.5 right now, or
For the Raiders?
7.5. Yeah,
I'll bet the over. I guarantee they win 8.
it was at 5.5.
Even if
at
it
the
goes
beginning of the
bad.
season.
Pete Carroll on just game knowledge and experience alone will win them games, just off time management and play and down and distance management, you know. And
Oh wow, the projection now is 8.7.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still over. The over under is still 6.5 though. That's Vegas Insider.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I would bet the over on that. I think that's good money.
It was 5.5 after the Geno and was
Oh, really?
It was after, so 5.5. Yeah, that was an easy line to take. But yeah, Ashton Genty's going to be incredible. Armand Membo from Missouri to the Jets.
To me, it made a lot of sense. Maybe even more sense when you were like, yeah, because Justin Fields
Rolls onto the right.
rolls
over and over and over.
Yes,
He does it so
yes.
much.
And not only that, he's a left-handed quarterback. So
No, he's right-handed.
Is he right-handed?
Yeah,
Well,
which
why do
right-handed quarterbacks roll to the right.
That's true. That's true.
So
Yeah.
not thrown across
But
the body.
Amon Membo, I don't think he can play left tackle. If he betting on his size, you know, some people
So
think
big.
he can't play right tackle, and he's just a guard, kind of like
crazy.
a little bit of
Which would be a great guard.
all pro.
Yeah, right.
Maybe all pro right there.
Incredibly athletic.
Yeah, yes. I mean, can get outside, has speed for his size. I mean, we saw the combine.
Yeah.
I'm
We
screaming.
know that
Freak.
we know that the Jets needed offensive line help. I like that they are just taking the shot and saying, you know what, let's let our guy do his thing. They took LSU tight end Mason Taylor in the 2nd round. They get him some help. You know, you got Garrett Wilson. You still have Alan Lazard, who's on his last year of his
Cheap
contract.
deal, yeah.
Brees Hall and Braylon Allen. You got Mason Taylor coming in. You got who's the other tight end out there?
Tyler
Conklin.
Conklin, yeah. Good hands. Can pick up the first
good
down.
hands. So it's like he's got a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
I think-
Armand Membo's going to be great.
I love it. Yeah, Armand Membo is the perfect pick for them,
Yeah.
helping him roll out and use his speed and play into his strengths. So, I mean, I don't think there's too much to talk about with Armand Membo. Super athletic freak. It was a great pick.
Yeah, coming into the draft, you know, a lot of people struggle with this draft when it was unpredictable. You got the first 6 picks right? Was that
I had the first 5.
5 picks right? I had the first 7 picks right in this draft.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Had
until
7 out of the first or 6 out of the first 7.
it wasn't until we got to
T-Mac.
T-Mac, all the reports, dude. Like, it was probably I don't know what the best odds. You were a little more locked in on the odds. You called the Kelvin Banks inside the top 10. I thought he would be right there at 11, 12. You called him being drafted early, and you pulled
some good money on that.
You pulled some good money on some odds.
I went better than breaking even. So,
but T-Mac to the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I thought it could be possible, but I thought T-Mac could be possible.
The Cowboys.
I thought it could be possible for the Panthers, just like he was possible for the Raiders and the Jags, and it was just like it seems a little early for him.
I just didn't think he was good enough to go in the top 10.
I didn't either, but I think there's a lot of upside, and I think he fits what Bryce Young needs, a big body receiver.
Sure. Somebody to replace Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen's getting old, and if he even stays, I mean, I would like to see the Eagles sign him, honestly. He'd be a great wide receiver 3.
Yeah, they spent the high-end pick on Leggett last year. He's raw. He's got a lot of physical traits that can, produce in the NFL. Big, tall, fast, physical. Yeah. Like and now they haven't. He didn't really produce like I thought he would. Hopefully, he can make that. Still,
we'll see.
They're still trying to. He's raw. He's raw.
Yeah,
you see that out of
dropping the ball.
He does bad, but he's still raw and he can still produce.
Yeah, Quentin Johnson type.
Yeah, a little bit. I know.
I love the player
for sure. I love the player, but
Tedero McMillan was a great pick. They need it. I like the belief in Bryce Young to go out there and get him a guy that's the best receiver in the draft class. Other than, I think he's a better receiver than Travis Hunter personally. He don't have the speed, but he's got better hands and better route running.
And his route running, he does have better route running.
Yeah,
he gets in and out of his breaks very smooth. It's like he glides.
It looks like a receiver.
It looks like a receiver. Yeah, I think that I don't want to be overcritical on Travis Hunter because I think that he went where he should have went, and he's going to be a great. The ceiling is Justin Jefferson, but the route running was a little choppy. It's a little busy. I think he can fix that.
I don't think the ceiling is Justin Jefferson. I think that's crazy.
Do what? You don't think so? Okay.
Travis Hunter. I think the ceiling of Travis Hunter is probably somebody like. He's small.
He is.
He's kind of like Cooper Kupp in that size, but he's not the route runner that Cooper Kupp is.
Who is? There's guys, but arguably,
I think. I don't even know what the comp would be for wide receiver at Travis Hunter. Maybe like a Stephon Diggs type. They can play outside and inside.
Yeah.
Which is still great. But I think
name?
Justin Jefferson's a little bold.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know that's a little rich.
Yeah.
It's a little rich. But I think but it's the flashy way that he attacks the football that I really, really love that reminds me of Justin Jefferson. I don't think that he'll be that. I think that he can be that. I think that Devontae Smith also comes to mind when I see
I think it's higher than that. I think the ceiling's higher than that.
Higher than Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
I think that Devontae Smith is just he's a low volume guy, so we haven't seen the max potential.
I think T. Higgins is probably my comp.
T. Higgins a little more physical.
Pretty good route. I think Travis Hunter's kind of physical. He's a little smaller.
Yes, right.
But if you put on the weight,
yes.
If you put on 5 or 10 pounds of muscle,
the confidence in attacking the football is the same.
He reminds me of T. Higgins, and you got Brian Thomas Jr. there, who's the clear one. He's not going to be better than Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh no, that dude's.
And that's why I'm saying the ceiling of him being a 1. I don't think he's a 1.
But you know what really helps? Having Brian Thomas Jr. just take the safety, take the number one, or the DB, take the safety over the top. Let Travis Hunter just develop and feast as a number 2 with just one-on-one coverage, zone coverage. Sure. He's going to be beautiful in zone coverage. He's going to find it very, 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 very well.
But yeah, T-Mac is a good route runner.
He really is.
And it's a good fit for the Panthers.
It is. It was a need. I think they're going to regret not drafting Walker from Georgia.
Oh, you're damn
Trevion
right.
Walker.
They're about to feel the wrath.
I think Trevion Walker is a gold jacket guy.
Jalen Walker?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker. I think he's a gold jacket guy.
Oh, dude, he's legit. Yeah. He's a very good edge rusher.
I think we'll get to them in a minute, but yeah, T-Mac.
I like Jalen Walker over Mikael Williams from Georgia.
I do too.
Which Jalen Walker, if you didn't know, also from Georgia. So
ridiculous. It's ridiculous at this point.
T-Mac, if you go watch the film, very good route runner. It's weird because he's from Arizona, so you probably didn't watch it as much.
Yeah, you did.
Especially as NFL fans, we don't watch that much college football. We watch the
you got to actively go search.
You have to actively go search it. But a very good route runner. He's got good hands. He's got good speed.
Smooth route runner.
It's a great pick for the Panthers. I think they should have went Jalen Walker like you were saying because it's more of a need. But You take your shot on your guy. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I think it's not what I would have picked. I don't think it's the best. It wasn't the best player available, but you know what? Bryce Young showed signs of life.
Yeah.
And at the end of last year, almost beating the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were in every game was a game for them,
Yeah, for
but,
sure.
But the fact is I think that they're just trying to get their guy help.
Get their guy,
They got him help. They had the most money invested in their offensive line in the league.
Their line's good.
Chuba Hubbard's going to bring.
And he's going to get a bit of a break.
Floor for Chuba Hubbard with the O-line? I think the O-line's going to be improved.
The floor for Chuba Hubbard is 950 yards.
I think that's fair. I was going to say 1,000, but I think
Rico Dowdle's coming in.
Who's a
Rico
great
volume.
Rico Dowdle rushed for 1,000.
Yeah, I think so.
It was right at it. A
lot of receiving yards.
Yes, Rico Dowdle is a great guy to have on the bench.
I say a lot of receiving yards as if 300 or 500 is a lot, and we had Christian McCaffrey have 1,000 and 1,000.
Yeah, that's a unicorn. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's a freak.
Yeah, let's see. 2024, yeah, he had 1,079 yards, Rico Dowdle did, and receiving he had only 249. That's actually a lot lower than I thought. He had 39 catches, though.
Okay, that's a little more catches than I thought.
Good.
But either way, I mean, great guy to have there. And they also have Jonathan Brooks, who is going to be out again, right? Is he out again?
Yeah, he tore his ACL in like week 10
It's
or
late,
something.
yeah. So,
but yeah,
that's midseason.
And I think if you go to the next pick with the Saints. I mean, Kelvin Banks is a great pick out of Texas, offensive tackle. It's what they needed.
For me, it was the right pick.
It's the right pick,
I had Mikael Williams going here out of Georgia. There were talks that they loved him. Late that day at lunch, I had Jackson Dart going there. There was some talks coming out of New Orleans of Jackson Dart being the guy they loved. The reports from Schefter was that they not hated, but didn't really like Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
So that's
because you didn't know the stat line.
That's right.
Of quarterbacks never being if the team didn't have a top 30 quarterback visit, they have never in history drafted a first round quarterback.
Yep. There's tendencies. A lot of the 30 picks, the smoke screens, but a lot of it's you can track it.
One thing that I feel like is something that needs to be pointed out is the NFL is kind of like a cult, dude.
What do you mean?
They all have these like weird same beliefs. All these owners and GMs are like very like-minded in the way they view things.
Definitely.
And maybe that's because they're all like 50-plus-year-old white dudes.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they're all older dudes. I mean, but it just feels like it's all like the same one hive mind of how the NFL does things. And maybe that's because they're smart. They've done it for all these years. And they're right.
Yeah, I think it's that at the end of the day, you're putting millions of your dollars on the line.
Yeah.
And they tend to have a set of like 101 rules. Let's just kind of take chess for an example. Progress your pieces, like just standard.
Yeah, I think
standard rules, and they all kind of live by that.
Most.
They've been bit by people with character issues. They've been bit by people with player injuries, so they tend to like those guys slid. Mike Green, we'll get to him at some point.
The rule that bothers me the most, the unspoken rule, is that if you draft a running back past the third round, you might as well just draft another one next year. Like why do the Giants draft Cam Skattebo? I get it. I love Cam Skattebo. Why do they draft him?
The statistic is like ridiculous.
Tyrone Tracy was awesome last year.
I know.
Let him run. Let him do it.
Yeah, but he can't do it all. And if he does get hurt, Cam Skattebo coming in would be amazing.
For sure.
Like
I'm not banking on my players to get
running
hurt.
Back needs
I'm not going to
depth.
bank on my players to get hurt.
But as a franchise, like you need depth at that position.
But regardless, Kelvin Banks, it was an awesome pick.
Amazing pick. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, you need to help out your quarterback, whoever it's going to be. Which we know who it's going to be now. It's Tyler Suck. Tyler Suck, I mean, you can speak on him. I think he's inaccurate. He's got bad tendencies in the pocket. He's got a strong arm. He's fast, but
athletic.
Yeah, he's athletic. I mean, those go together.
Did it shock you when they took him over Shedeur?
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was the wrong pick.
I thought Shedeur's best landing spot at that moment was the Saints. I think he needs to be in a dome. I think he fits the prototype of what Drew Brees is. He's a little small. He doesn't stand strong in the pocket. He doesn't have confidence in the pocket. I think that's why he has the trait to leak out when there's no pressure. The timing in his head is not right.
Yeah.
I've watched Tom Brady's timing for 20 years. I've seen it perfected. I've seen what it takes. And the timing, and Tom Brady had the best pocket presence I've ever seen. His footwork and his ability to slide and feel pressure was amazing. Now, Shedeur Sanders does not have that. It's a bad trait for him, but it was a bad trait for Baker Mayfield too. And what sucks about getting thrown to the wolves in the NFL, outside of all the memes and the internet just crushing you and destroying your confidence, and you're thrown into the abyss for forever. The NFL, you have to land in a good system. You have to, especially when you don't have a strong arm like Shedeur Sanders.
You're like a Brock Purdy type. Almost.
Exactly. Brock Purdy could never save a franchise. We all know that. Brock Purdy has to be in the right system.
Yeah.
But the thing with Shedeur Sanders, I just felt like he. And then here we go again with Shedeur Sanders.
Let's talk about Tyler Shuck.
Tyler Shuck is
Where's
a guy.
he going? Where does he come from? Get him out of my face.
I love this. This is a fun tape because me and you will have some fun takes with Tyler Shuck because you and I've both seen the good, the bad, the ugly. There's a lot of all.
I've seen a lot of the bad.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of all of it.
I've seen the strong arm. I've seen it.
But yesterday before day two started, I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, yes, this is the best landing spot for Shedeur Sanders. I would not be surprised if they drafted Shedeur Sanders here. But for me, what I've seen, and I haven't looked at Will Howard, I haven't looked at as much Dylan Gabriel. I got to that this morning at this time. This was yesterday, pre-day two. I go, Kellen Moore has all the traits it takes to develop the prototype quarterback that is Tyler Shuck. Let me explain and I will agree with all the bad traits. We've seen the Will Levis traits of Tyler Shuck. His floor is a more athletic, slightly weaker armed Will Levis. So like if Daniel Jones and Will Levis had a baby, that's the floor of Tyler Shuck.
Oh,
now,
Jesus
which sounds
Christ,
horrible.
man.
You're like, oh my God, you like this guy? Let me bring you back to 2008. I'm going to get just a little bit long-winded.
Don't, because we're on pick 9 and we're an hour in.
That's okay. We'll fly through this. This is my guy.
Okay.
So
it's important.
It's important. Okay, I'll be quick. Okay, Kellen Moore. I'm a big believer in Kellen Moore. I have been. 2008, 2010-ish. He's arguably one of the greatest college quarterbacks to ever play at the college level. I mean, the IQ that Kellen Moore has at the college quarterback position. There was one year. I think over his career he ended up throwing 147 touchdowns. Like 28 interceptions. One year he had 39 touchdowns, like 3 picks. I mean, we're talking about one of the most accurate, highest level IQ that the college football has ever seen. And if you was in it, you know. If you go back and look at it now, yeah, it gets muddy because
74% completion, 3,800
I'm here
yards,
to tell
43 touchdowns.
It's one of the greatest
That's amazing.
high-level IQ guys I've ever seen. And it used to bother me. And I didn't understand because I was younger.
I was back when quarterbacks played all 4 years.
Exactly. But at the time, the reason why he played all 4 years is because he didn't have the physical traits that Tyler Shuck had.
He's coming into Boise
He was
State.
6 foot, played at Boise State, was the air raid system. But let me tell you, when it comes to manipulating linebackers and safeties and cornerbacks, when you can manipulate them and put them where you want them to be and have your guy running wide open, Kellen Moore is an NFL mastermind.
Are you saying Tyler Shuck is an NFL mastermind?
No. What I'm saying is that all the rough edges.
What's the ceiling for Tyler Shuck? Give me a comp.
I think Jordan Love is the comp. I think that Jordan Love
is the comp or the ceiling?
Maybe both. I don't want to get too crazy with Tyler Shuck and say like,
Tom Brady,
Andrew Luck or something like that. No, it's not that. I think that Jordan Love comes to mind instantly. A late round guy who had all the physical traits, had a strong arm.
Jordan Love was a first round draft pick, wasn't he?
He was, but we're talking 10 picks apart, you know,
maybe 15.
So we're not too far. Has the ability to run around a 4.6.
Yeah, it's fast.
The second fastest quarterback in the draft. You know, maybe Cam Ward's right there, but we know Jalen Milroe. Anyways, the point is, the Will Levis is in him.
See, to me, I think Daniel Jones is his ceiling.
I think that's the floor.
Which honestly,
and you know why it's the floor is because
I believe in Daniel Jones Oddly
You
enough.
believe in him more than I do.
he's
Kellen Moore
accurate.
will elevate him based off of how amazing he hasn't got his breakthrough as far as developing the quarterback yet. He just won the Super Bowl with
already developed quarterback. Right.
We know
Yes,
that.
yes.
We know that he developed insane numbers with Justin Herbert. We know that he developed insane numbers with Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah.
But now, when I was in the shower and heard that they took Tyler Shough, I hollered because it was the perfect. The whole day I'm like, I would take Tyler Shough over Shedeur Sanders because it's the perfect fit.
terrible.
Because the things that make
Terrible,
Tyler
man.
Shough terrible are the things that make
Him great.
the things that make him. You wanted me to say it. All of you wanted me to say it.
I was like, what?
The things that
is
make
he saying?
the flaws of Tyler Shough, there's no better person who can fix those traits than Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I believe in Kellen Moore. I just watched him win a Super Bowl. I just watched him. He's been nothing but the highest level IQ for the quarterback position year after year after year.
Look.
I believe in the development and the fact that he saw it too. And we were on the same wavelength on that.
Here's my
I'm all in. Tyler Shough has all the physical traits. He stands strong in the pocket. He can make every throw. There's one throw that reminded me of Tom Brady throwing it to Scotty Miller in the back of the end zone, splitting the cover two.
Here's
He
my
can
throw
throw off
these
balance,
guys, man.
and he's athletic.
Tyler Shough is the fucking 1968 Camaro, but is beat the fuck up. And you got to remodel
story.
this motherfucker.
Look.
You got to remodel it. You got to redo the engine. You got to rebuild all this shit. And guess what? It's going to be a pain in the ass. And guess what? At the end, it might not even be worth it because it might not even fucking turn out how you wanted. But guess what? Shedeur Sanders, he's the motherfucking 2024 Tesla. He fast, but goddamn, you might get pulled over. You might get pulled over and you might get in a wreck because you don't know how to drive this bitch. You don't really know what the outcome's going to be. You don't know what the problem is with the maintenance, really. I mean, what's the problem here? We don't know what the problem is. I mean, he's got attitude. He's got all these other underlying problems behind him. Give me the car that's just fucking in good shape. Obviously, I would love to have the fixer-upper and make it work.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to work, man. I think this bitch is total. It's rusted out.
You think it's rusted out?
I think it's rusted out,
You bought
man.
a lemon. You think
Yeah,
you bought a lemon? Listen,
I bought a lemon.
here's what you got here. Let's bring it. Let's rope it all back up. Here's what you got. What you have is you have raw ingredients, right? And you got Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay just stepped into the kitchen and has all raw ingredients, and you're telling Gordon Ramsay to make me a dish that's delicious. Because that's what Kellen Moore is. Kellen Moore is the ultimate chef at developing a quarterback, and you got the ultimate raw materials. You don't have any meat.
What if I told you that you hadn't eaten in 48 hours, and now you got to wait on Gordon Ramsay to cook you this meal, or I could just go get you McDonald's right now and give it to you?
Look,
I'm going to eat the fucking McDonald's, dude.
I believe.
I've
believed in Kellen Moore. And look, if you look at the tape of Tyler Shough and you say I'm out, I get it. I'm not here.
It's the shitty ingredients that Gordon Ramsay's getting.
No, it's not.
Okay, we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
It's all the physical traits that Kellen Moore never had and wishes he had.
I'll tell you one thing that's not good for your argument is the shitty wide receivers that the Saints have. They have one good one that might not even fucking be there.
That's just what they got.
That might not be on this earth for much longer.
But Derek Carr's the starting quarterback, and they got some time, and they drafted a left tackle that can protect him.
Let's move on. Colson Loveland to the Bears.
Beautiful.
It didn't make sense to me.
Made all this sense to me.
No,
I mean,
it didn't
yes,
make
it
sense
does.
to me. Cole Kmet just got fucking paid way too much.
I had Tyler Warren going here, so tight end made sense to me. They don't believe in Cole Kmet.
Then why did they pay him?
Because that was a whole different regime, was it not?
Yeah, it was last year though. Still,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta.
They're going to continue. It's the path for Chicago is clear to me. They're going to continue to give weapons. I mean, they drafted a receiver, Luther Burton, after that.
They did.
No excuse for Caleb
They
Williams.
don't have Keenan Allen anymore. They have DJ Moore.
And you know who drafted him? Freaking what's his name?
You know who the
head
Bears
coach.
didn't draft is a fucking running back, which they needed.
They
and
did.
still need.
They did.
By Ben
Johnson.
Ben Johnson does not like DeAndre Swift.
He don't.
It's
He's
been
let him go
showed that
before. He
traded
let him go
yeah.
before.
I mean, I don't know why they don't draft running back here. I still think the good thing is Colson Loveland's an excellent blocker, an excellent pass catcher,
and
great route runner.
Yes.
He's a good tight end. He's a very good tight end. So it's not like you got a bad pick. I just thought it was the wrong pick.
I get it. I was big on Colson Loveland coming in. If you wanted to take Loveland over Warren, I was there before I started watching Warren.
I like Warren better. Even if you drafted Warren here, I don't think it was the right pick.
I do too. But they want to be aggressive as Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson knows what it takes to run his particular offense, and he's going to draft for that.
He loves that tight end.
He
Sam
does.
Laporta's the comp here.
It is.
So,
it really is, yeah.
I get it.
And a guy who helps the run game and helps the pass game, helps your young quarterback. He's the closest to the line of scrimmage when there's blitzes and it breaks down. The quickest and most safest guy you could pass it to, the tight end. Colson Loveland
for sure.
is amazing. Great route runner. I see no problem.
Yeah, he was
with it.
very good out of Michigan. I mean, it was terrible fucking quarterback play, and he was still very good all year. I don't think it was the right pick, but I don't think it was a bad pick. I think it was a very good pick.
Yeah, I'm fine with it
because Colson Loveland's a very good player.
Yeah. Expectation for the Bears this year? Defense was underrated last year. Defense was underrated last year.
For the Bears, I mean, the Vikings, what the fuck's going to go on with them? The Packers are probably going to win the division. That was a joke, by the way. The Lions are probably going to win the division. The Packers will be okay. They'll be good.
Sorry, I was pulling up this draft order.
Probably like 9-10 wins, maybe.
I think that's optimistic a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
Doesn't
optimistic.
seem that
I
way.
don't feel good about it.
Even though I think they had the potential for that.
Yeah,
it seems.
Ben Johnson, the head coach, could be. Really
that's
good.
not. I believe in Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
100%.
Ben Johnson. You didn't ask me what I thought the ceiling was for the Saints.
What's the ceiling for the Saints?
7 wins.
Okay,
is the ceiling to me.
Okay, I don't know what the ceiling is.
Don't have good receivers.
I know. They don't have depth either.
Derek Carr. We don't even know what's going to happen with Derek Carr. Is he starting the season? He might have to get season shoulder surgery. Say that 3 times fast.
There's a speculation that some of that was
just hearsay.
A little upset, like take my shit off Twitter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Take my delete the team.
No, I'm talking about him having shoulder surgery.
Oh, I know.
I
know. A lot of that I'm hearing is like
is a ruse.
Yeah, like he's upset with the team and they're upset with him, kind of thing. But
then they go out and draft a quarterback in the second round. Do you think that made it better? So if worst case scenario, it's worst case scenario is Spencer Rattler starting. That's a 4-win season, 5-win season.
They're not winning any games.
If it's Tyler Shuck, I think it's maybe 6 wins. I don't think it's much better.
Yeah, you can't.
Tyler Shuck,
not throw him to the flames.
Wolves,
no.
yeah.
You cannot.
He's dead. He's fucked.
Tyler Shuck, at best case scenario, he needs to come in
and sit 2 years.
And sit the year. Best case scenario, he sits a year, and then he's developed in the offseason. He knows the offense, and he can enter next year, and they move on from Derek Carr. But odds are he's not
start by the end.
He's about to get thrown to the Wolves about week 6 or 8.
That's why I thought Shedeur was a better pick here because he's more NFL ready.
He is more NFL ready.
I think the ceiling for the Saints is 7 wins if Derek Carr's healthy all year.
I think that's probably accurate.
But Kellen Moore, I do believe in him. I just don't think the talent's there. The quarterback is the biggest position in football. I mean,
the fact that Kellen Moore believes in Tyler Shuck, the fact that I believe in him.
He didn't believe in him enough to take him in the first round.
Yeah, because I mean, it's Kelvin Banks. You ain't passing on Kelvin Banks.
I think
we know what Tyler Shuck is. It's a project.
I would, if I was a Saints fan, I would be fucking mad at Tyler Shuck being drafted.
Oh man,
I would be more mad.
I'm here to soothe you over.
I would be more mad. I mean, who would you rather have coming out of college, Jalen Hurts or Tyler Shuck? And I was mad as fuck at Jalen Hurts getting drafted. I would have rather had Jalen Hurts coming out of college. I mean, Jalen Hurts was very accurate across the middle, very athletic.
Yeah, I'm weird with.
Well, not to mention
because I didn't believe.
Can we also talk about Tyler Shuck? He played 1 full season.
He did.
He's 26 years old.
Health is a problem.
He was in the same class coming out of high school as Trevor Lawrence, dude.
For sure.
He threw passes to Jawan Johnson.
I think that's a pro. You want to come in experienced in the league.
He's not experienced though. He's played 1 full season.
He's experienced pro who's been playing football for. He's 26. Kellen Moore believes, and I believe in Kellen Moore.
1 full season. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, that's
Why
okay.
is he drafted in the second round?
For the obvious things I just mentioned.
Colson Love. I don't think it's obvious. I don't think that's why
Kellen
a lot
Moore
of Saints
does,
fans are
and he just won a Super Bowl.
He did. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think drafting a quarterback this year was just a wrong move.
It was a poor class anyway.
It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just wait.
I know what Tyler Shuck is. He's a project.
God,
but he's a project
that's what you need right now.
That's all they have. Shedeur Sanders is not winning your franchise. You'll be fired before it's over. Kellen Moore has the traits to fix the rough edges.
I hope so. I hope so for him. I hope you're right.
The IQ is what he needs.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a lot of red flags with Tyler Shuck. I'm with you. If you look at it and you say you're out, that's fine. I believe in Kellen Moore, and he believes in him too. So we'll see. The time will come.
Yeah, it will. It will. And I think having an offensive line piece like Kelvin Banks is going to help.
That's why you draft Kelvin Banks.
You need receivers, yeah. But Mikael Williams from Georgia.
It was obvious once he was there. Yeah, we all kind of knew.
I think it should have been Jalen Walker, but I'm okay with it. I mean, they're both great edge rushers.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of scary the 49ers being able to draft this high. And
it is, isn't it?
They were Super Bowl contenders at the beginning of
they've lost so much,
Yeah, did they though?
They lost Debo. You think it'll hurt him that much?
No.
They didn't miss him last year.
I don't think it'll hurt him that much.
He was there, but he wasn't there.
You know what hurt him last year was Christian McCaffrey not playing.
I know. What do you get there?
I mean, I think the 49ers are a wild card team. Again, I don't think they win the division.
If Christian McCaffrey stays healthy,
he's not going to.
He has to.
He has
for
to.
them to make the wild card.
Oh, no, I think they'll make the wild card.
Isaac Guerrero is very capable.
Yeah, you know who isn't very capable? Jordan Mason, because he's not on the team anymore.
Kevin O'Connell's smart.
Oh, yeah.
How about I pick it up? We'll get to
No, yeah, the Vikings
that's
are very fun.
I'm
the
a
Vikings
fan.
are very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 49ers.
But,
I hate it because I mean, we all believe in Kyle Shanahan. I like Brock Purdy. I mean, Jawan Jennings, dude, and Ricky Pearsall. It's an interesting receiving core. Obviously, George Kittle. The defense got beefed up. I think this team should be a wild card team regardless of what happens to Christian McCaffrey.
George Kittle wasn't at OTAs.
Yeah, he'll get paid. That's fine. He'll get
They
paid.
don't have a choice.
Yeah, he'll get paid.
Rank those receivers and how they'll finish this year in fantasy.
Which three?
Ayuk, Pearsall, and
What was the IU injury? Is he still injured?
Jennings. He should be back.
It was the MCL, right?
I think so.
ACL and MCL in his right knee.
Oh, that's rough.
While there's
Started
a chance he could be ready for the 2025 season opener, there's no specific timeline. I didn't think he was going to be back because it was like week 7 when he got hurt.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to go.
And he started so slow after the holdout.
Yeah.
He missed OTAs,
I'm going to go
and it hurt.
Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk last. Fantasy finish. He's not going to play the full season. It's hard for me to bet on that
I
guy.
agree with that. Yeah.
And when he does come back, then
Yeah,
what? I mean,
I
he's
would
probably
have
going to
done
come back mid-season, like 6 or 7, week 6 or 7.
I would agree with that.
Ricky Pearsall is coming into his second year. Jawan Jennings was fucking good last year, dude.
Yeah,
He's
he's solidified. He's locked
year.
in. Yeah,
It's obviously
It's
a
prime
guy
time
for
for
Brock
him.
Purdy.
it's prime time for him. But they got to establish the run game. I think they need Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy. Even though
I don't
Isaac
think they do.
Guerrero, I think that he'll come in a little bit more to help keep McCaffrey a little bit more healthy.
If McCaffrey is healthy all year, then there's a chance they win the division. If he's not healthy all year, then they still make the wild card.
That's true. I can see
think
that.
the floor for them is like 10 or 11 wins.
I'm a little bit more down on it, just a little bit.
I think they're getting a lot of help on the defensive side, and they're not dealing with
Definitely.
Deebo Samuel.
Definitely.
You know, they got some. I don't know. I feel okay.
That's
about it.
okay.
I still
It's
believe in
okay.
Kyle Shanahan.
I like that. And they gotta at some point they're gonna pay Brock Purdy, whether it's the right thing to do. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I've been a defender of Brock Purdy, but
I mean, let me ask you this.
and I believe in keeping a guy who's in the system in the system.
I mean, what do you want to do? Go out there and draft a quarterback? And now you have to hope he's as good as Brock Purdy? Just pay the man.
I know.
That's how the attitude is, and it sucks.
They're forced.
Yeah, they're forced.
They're forced,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what do you want to do? Go have Shedeur Sanders be your quarterback, who is like his ceiling is Brock Purdy?
Right?
Yeah. No thanks.
No.
No thanks. I'm not going to risk it. I think we can move on though. Mikael Williams is a very good edge rusher. He's going to create the same problems that Abdul Carter does. Obviously not as good, but still very good.
Yeah,
Very good edge
great
rusher.
player. Yeah.
Tyler
Tyler Booker was a shocker.
the wrong pick.
Never gave up a sack. Good interior offensive
They
line.
lost Zach Martin.
It made sense.
They
The
lost
pick made
pieces.
sense, but even though I never saw it coming,
It wasn't flashy. Honestly, it might be the right pick. Not him. I don't think.
I think he's fine.
I would have drafted Gray Zabel over Tyler Booker though. Gray Zabel's fucking good. Dude.
You know, I like Gray Zabel.
He's a fucking dog.
He's more versatile than Booker, but Booker
Also played in Alabama though.
Booker's a good offensive lineman, man. He never gave up a sack there, I don't believe. You see him running out of the tunnel,
Nah.
just like running.
Darky,
It's like he's gonna tear the whole place
came
down.
from the fucking bus because he didn't know he was going to draft in the first round.
He was there.
Yeah, he was. That's fair.
Yeah, it was a little premature. I had Booker going to the Chiefs. I thought they
that's
would kind of
fair.
help
Yeah,
beef up the
that's
offensive
fair.
line there, but I get it. Zach Martin just retired. It's a
Oh
need.
man, which the Chiefs got to steal with Josh Simmons. falling
Yeah,
to
we'll
him.
get to that. It's upsetting,
Yeah,
but
I know. Yeah, Tyler Booker. Though, I mean, he's still a good player, and I think that
it's a need. They filled it.
Have you seen the interview between him and Michael Parsons talking?
No.
Where
Where he saw the draft? Where he
no,
saw him
no,
get
not that
drafted?
one. So him and Michael Parsons were talking like it was like the next day. I think it was yesterday or whatever. And Tyler Booker is sitting there and he's talking about. So what's your favorite part about? Michael Parsons asked him. So what's your favorite part about playing football? And he says, "I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite part about football is whenever I see these players that." Like football is a childlike game. He's like, whenever I see these players and they have this joy and like overwhelming passion for football, and I love taking that away from them.
Oh God!
It got dark
Damn, I
so
did not
fast.
expect that.
And Michael Parsons is like, okay, I'm fucking listening.
Tyler
you know,
Booker said that.
Tyler Booker said that. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Right? That's fucking badass.
He's gonna be. I think he's a fine pick. I think he's okay. It was
badass.
he shouldn't have went there, but with them picking, it made sense.
Yeah, I mean they needed offensive line help.
They need to replace Zach Martin. Zach Martin was he's probably a future Hall of Famer. He's right there on it.
For sure.
Expectations out of Dallas next year.
I mean,
Javonte Williams, is he going to be anything there?
No.
Okay.
What about Miles Sanders? No, because they don't need
Rico
that.
Dowdle. They should have kept Rico Dowdle.
They should have kept Rico Dowdle, but they did get that edge rusher out of Boston College, which I think is going to be very helpful.
Izaraku.
Yep.
They got Izaraku?
Yep,
oh, that's nice. Yeah. I had him going in the first round to pair beside Waluigi in Detroit.
Waluigi. Jesus. Stupid. And then they did get that DB out of fucking East Carolina, Siobhan Revelle, which I had him going in the first round, dude.
A lot of people like him. I haven't watched him, but a lot of people like him. Yeah, there's a lot of buzz behind him. That's a steal, it seems, but I haven't. I
think it was a steal. I think they definitely won the draft. I'm trying to see what running back they took.
I don't have an opinion on him yet.
I forgot what running back they took. Jadon Blue out of Texas.
Oh, nice.
And
I haven't watched anything on him, but he was good. Pretty good.
Yeah, he was good.
He was part of this,
second, third round, I think.
He was part of this like draft class of running backs that helped make it so good.
Well, dude, I mean, you got to think about what offense he came from too.
Yeah,
with Bijan Robinson, it was Jadon Blue, Bijan. Who were the other two? It was two more running backs out there. It was fucking ridiculous. Jonathan Brooks, and one more running back out of Texas in like the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah. All in the same running back class. Texas has produced good running backs.
Oh, they have. They always have.
Yeah, Jadon Blue I think is a really good pick for them. I don't know. The running back is definitely a problem for them. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Them not going running back in the second round just bothered. It really
bothered me too because
that's obviously the problem.
At that point, who was available? Judkins was off the board. Henderson was off the board.
Caleb Johnson was there.
They got him in the third round. That was a great pick,
that was
man.
Insane. The Cowboys could have got them in the third.
They got
them in the third round.
They just got rid of their pickup truck. R.J.
Harvey from UCF was there.
Yeah,
great pick.
Yeah,
DJ Giddens. They could have went a little later.
He went later. Yeah, I forgot where he went. I saw it today.
DJ Giddens, where did he?
They're talking about how he might be the best third down back in this draft. Like his hands out of the backfield is just phenomenal.
Fucking good, dude. Yeah. I'm excited about him. I'm really ready.
You like him? He's a deeper guy, sleeper guy. Yeah, I hear good things about him.
He's not the deeper guy that I want to talk about. We'll get to him in a few rounds or a few picks. But
what's the expectation for Dallas? What do you think about the Cowboys? You in the division, you see them more than I do.
Good, dude.
I guess we all see them because they're always primed up.
I don't either. I don't know how I feel about Dak.
You got CeeDee Lamb. That's
it.
That helps.
That's it on the offense.
What's the offensive line going to be? I don't think
they drafted a piece, and I don't think it was the right piece.
I think it's okay. They had to replace.
Yeah, it is okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, but
it's like when
DJ Giddens went to the Colts.
Oh, that's right. That's actually not.
That's okay. Yeah. I mean, that's
not good for.
It's good back. It's a fifth rounder.
Yeah,
it's good back.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't feel good out of Cowboy camp. Like I don't know.
Cowboy camp.
Jerry World, whatever. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I think like 9 wins.
What do we think out of Dak Prescott?
10 wins is the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to play the Eagles twice. They got to play the Commanders twice. God damn. They got to play the Giants twice.
That
defense is going to eat.
That front seven was underrated.
That defense is going to eat.
Yeah. The front seven was underrated.
Against that weak-ass offensive line.
Bears and the Bears last year had underrated front
seven. And you know who else is coming off an injury? Dak Prescott. Again.
If he doesn't produce this year, then what?
Then you realize, I mean, they should already realize it, but that you paid him way too much.
But isn't that every quarterback that is like, you make the playoffs and get beat? Kirk Cousins. What's some more examples?
Kirk Cousins didn't get paid too much when he went to the Vikings. He was legit coming out of Washington.
Yeah, but
I think it was the right paycheck.
But the thing with the Washingtons, the reason why they got rid of him is because they gave him like a 3-year franchise tag. They were like, okay, maybe you win it next year. You get like close.
Well, who the fuck did he have to throw to?
Yeah, but
that was like Pierre Garçon.
The point is that these guys just continue to just be these guys.
Well, I disagree with that. You saw what he was at Minnesota.
He was fine. It was great.
Fucking good.
Yeah, he was like that at Washington. Passer, yeah. He was like that at Washington. Great in Washington. Less pieces, but it was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for the Kirk Cousins hate after the Achilles tear.
This is not a Kirk Cousins hate thing coming from me. It's those guys who are worth.
I'm saying
those guys who you spend the money on, but they always just get.
I guess my issue is I just felt like you were comparing Dak Prescott to Cousins.
No, I'm just talking about the
Prescott
area
should ever be compared to Cousins.
No, I'm talking about the guys where those guys continuously land but they get the contract. because they continuously finish right there on the. They get to the playoffs. That's it.
Like Tua.
Sure.
Tua getting paid was.
You got to pay those guys. You don't have another option.
Yeah,
that's why you're paying Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but,
that's
you can't make him the highest paid. It's fucking stupid.
But you know what? If they don't, somebody else will. That's desperate.
And they're stupid.
That's fine. They'll go get paid. That's the dilemma.
Dumb, dude.
Hey, Browns, go ahead and pay me. Deshaun Watson, go ahead and pay me.
That is the worst
You know what I mean?
signing in sports history.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Dude played like fucking.
But the quarterback is the most important position in football, and you have all the leverage. So, like, if you can at least get the team to a playoffs, you're going to be overpaid.
Yeah.
And those guys, like, what do you do with those guys?
He's going to be gone, dude. He's going to be gone soon. At what point are they
Dak Prescott ain't winning no Super Bowl.
Here's the thing is,
Kirk Cousins ain't winning no Super Bowl.
How long does Dak Prescott have on his contract? Well, actually, it is Dak Prescott's year.
It's the boys. We spent enough time on the Cowboys.
Dak Prescott contract, 4-year. When was it signed? I don't care. When does it end? End date is 2028. That's really good, actually. That's really good for them. Now, I forgot. I wasn't sure if it was last year or the year before. You got 3 years on the contract. That's big.
They'll be competitive.
They'll be competitive. I don't think they win more than 11 games.
There's gonna be too much pressure on Prescott.
It always is.
He could get hurt.
They don't have a run game. They don't have a fucking run game.
It's too much volume because
they
don't
barely
have
had a run game last year. And you know what they did? They ran it with Ezekiel Elliott instead.
If you want to win or even go deep into the playoffs with Dak Prescott, okay,
you gotta
maybe
have a fucking stud.
The path is you need a Mario Hampton or a guy who
That's
can.
why I hated this pick.
Travion Henderson, a guy you can give the ball.
That's why I hated this pick.
20-something times. And
I thought Amarion Hampton was the pick here at 12. Or
we thought it was. We all had T-Mac there.
Well, after T-Mac was gone, I thought it was Amarion Hampton.
I thought it should be.
I thought Golden, and Mecca Egbuka would have been awesome here. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
Let's go on to the Dolphins. Yeah. Kenneth Grant, out of Michigan, D
Early.
tackle, dominant though. I had him going to the Seahawks at 19.
Okay, I had him going to. You know what? I had Kenneth Grant going to the Chiefs. I can't remember who I said what was going to the Chiefs earlier.
You had Tyler Booker, one of the Chiefs, which makes more sense.
No, I had him going somewhere else. I actually had Kenneth Grant because I thought he's good. But the thing that bothered me with Kenneth Grant, and I watched more Mason Graham than I did Kenneth Grant, is
that's definitely going to make Kenneth Grant look worse.
I felt like Kenneth Grant really benefited. Like, hey, he's a good player, but I feel like he got maybe a round. Or maybe like a 20-spot bump because he played alongside Mason Graham. Like, Mason Graham always disrupted and made the play, but if he disrupted it, he opened up the lane for Kenneth Grant. That's the way it felt to me. I think Kenneth Grant's a good player. I just thought he went a little bit early. This felt like the Tyler Booker.
I think this was worse than Tyler Booker. Honestly, I don't think they needed to go D tackle here. I like Kenneth Grant. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, yeah.
I just think this is the wrong position.
Yeah. I agree.
It's
totally.
the wrong position. They needed O line. They needed DB.
I had Will Johnson here.
You had Will Johnson. Oh yeah, sorry, I was thinking Will Campbell. Yeah, I had Will Johnson here as well.
Yeah.
But I would have been perfectly fine with Gray Zabel or Tyler Booker or any of these fucking O linemen going right here. Especially with them losing Teron Armstead.
I know. That's a problem.
Donovan Jackson would have been fine.
They wanted Kelvin Banks so bad, but they were too different.
Josh Simmons would have been fine. I had Josh Simmons going where did I have Josh Simmons going? I can pull it up.
I had him going Houston.
I had him going right around
Josh
there.
Simmons is good. Really good.
I had Josh Simmons going to the Rams. So right
That's
after.
Actually good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But
just early.
Grant, he's going to be a good player, but
maybe
the end is coming. The end is coming
for Miami.
For
it's
all
falling
of it.
apart.
All of Miami.
Yep, all of it is coming. You feel it. The writing's on the wall.
Tyreek Hill,
the trade
Tua,
questions,
the shitty fucking picks, the draft.
Yeah, they're playing Madden, but they're not good.
Yes,
they're playing Madden, but they're not good.
That's how it felt with the Jags, dude.
You think that Cohen?
No, I thought it was great. I love it.
But they're winning. You think they're playing Madden, but they're winning?
They're playing Madden and they're having fun.
That's for sure.
It was fun. The fan base had to love that shit.
I don't have an opinion.
If I was a Jags fan, that's exciting as fuck.
I honestly don't have, and I don't think anybody can have an opinion on that trade.
You know what the best part? You know what the best parts of the first round of the draft is? Going out and watching it.
What
is seeing your team make a good pick?
Yes,
and then going home. And as a Jags fan, you get to go out and go home early.
Yeah,
and they get a good pick. That's fun.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah,
yeah. If I was Jacksonville, I'd be super excited.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Kenneth Grant. I don't get it. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I mean,
honestly, as a Patriots fan, I love to see it.
Yeah, I bet you do. I mean, D tackle is good though. I mean, you're
fine.
gonna need it. You're gonna need it against that division who's super run heavy, right? No. wrong.
I would have taken Walter Nolan over.
I would have absolutely taken Walter Nolan.
Walter Nolan is like
I think
unblockable.
he's a better D tackle.
Yeah,
and I had him going. I had him going to the Cardinals. Actually,
Walter Nolan
was
is way better than Kenneth Grant.
Dude, I would have taken Jalen Walker over Kenneth Grant. Jalen Walker's an incredible talent. Tyler Warren was there. I wouldn't have taken him there for the Dolphins.
No, Jonathan Smith's producing.
I think Will Johnson or Jahdae Barron would have been better.
I did too.
I think Gray Zabel would have been awesome for them.
Gray Zabel went a little high, but it just made sense. We'll get to Gray Zabel.
You need it.
It was needed for
you
sure.
Needed the
definitely,
pick. Yeah.
definitely.
Or Walter Nolan. I mean, Shamar Stewart would have been okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenneth Grant was just not at all. I would have never guessed that in a million. You could have given me 10 bets, I would have got it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, 100%. I would have never 10 guesses. I wouldn't have got it at all. I think this is a miss for the Dolphins, honestly.
Yeah, and like the end is coming. The end is near.
The end is coming. Yeah. Josh, what's his name? Josh McDaniels. That's funny. Mike McDaniel. He's gonna. It's coming.
He's gonna get fired.
Tyreek Hill's gonna get cast off.
What's the ceiling for the Dolphins?
Who finishes higher, Jets or Dolphins? Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. Put it in order.
Oh, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots?
Yeah.
The Dolphins are last. I think the Dolphins last. I mean, who's their running backs? Raheem Mostert is gone. So it's Achane who won't stay healthy.
Did they get a running back in this draft? I hadn't seen anything.
I don't remember. We'll have to go through it. I think
it's premature. We haven't analyzed all these guys.
No, they did. They did get it. They did get a running back. I just can't think of who. I think it was like a 6th round.
It would make sense if they did. 6th round, damn. That's
6th or 5th. It was somebody that notable. Obviously, I mean, it's a running back. We probably know all the running backs because we're fantasy fucking
like
freaks.
15 of them.
We're fucking degenerates, so we know all the offensive players. We know all of those.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it was earlier than 6. I thought they got one though. No, they definitely fucking got one. I just can't think of who it was. Was it in the 7th? Anyways, we'll find it after a break here in a little bit. But
Kenneth Grant to me just benefited from Mason Graham.
Bad
he's an athletic guy. He's good. He's good inside, but to me, he is a guy who needs to be the second D tackle.
Let's get to the saddest pick in the draft.
I know, right?
It's Tyler Warren to the Colts, dude. It's so good for the Colts.
It's the right pick. It's the right pick.
It's the best player.
Best case scenario.
He's the top 10. I mean, I had Tyler Warren higher rated than Cam Ward.
Me and you both had
very close.
We both had Tyler Warren in the top 10.
Yeah,
I had him in Chicago. I flipped Chicago and Loveland coming into the draft. I thought Loveland was the best. Or coming into not the draft, but coming into like outside of the NCAA season, I had Loveland 1, Warren 2. You just saw the production.
You watch more film.
He won.
Like,
he won the award, best tight end in the draft. And you go watch the tape, and you're like, okay, the comp is Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's physical. He attacks. He attacks in the inline blocking. He attacks. He has good hands. After the run, he punishes people.
Yeah, he's very good.
It's unreal. It's one of my favorite film to watch.
Deal with fucking Anthony Richardson and
the most inaccurate quarterback.
But Daniel Jones, pretty accurate.
I think that Indianapolis, okay.
Pretty accurate. He's okay.
Rank how that division finishes. Just obviously we haven't looked at the schedules, but like some talent, some addition. I agree. Wild card.
Yeah.
I guess not wild. They'll win the division. Yeah.
I got
Jacksonville, Tennessee.
I got Jacksonville second. I believe in Duval.
I got Jacksonville second too.
And then I got the Colts last, and I got the Titans finishing third. I'll take Cam Ward over Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones.
But I believe in Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren.
That's fine.
Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, the quarterback is the problem.
The quarterback's the
Quentin
problem.
Nelson?
That's the problem.
Come on, man. He's going to punish people. Like, I feel like
the quarterback's the problem.
It's definitely going to be tight between Tennessee and Houston or Tennessee. And
we don't even know. It could be.
It could be crazy and it flips.
That's so strange.
To be honest,
and who knows what happens to the Texans?
Who knows what happens with Houston? Because I think they dropped the ball in this entire draft. I
disagree.
Okay, we'll get to that.
I mean,
at least
trading
the first
back
round
was stupid. It was very dumb.
I mean, in the first round, I haven't dove deep into. I know they drafted a receiver who I think is pretty solid. Jalen Noel is pretty solid receiver. Dude. That's fine. They need it was a need, but we'll get to them.
Jalen Noel is the fucking one. At Iowa State, that's the guy I was talking about earlier at Iowa State.
Look, Tyler Warren. Go look at the tape. It's fun.
Yeah,
but the most it's not going to be a productive first year.
This is one of my favorite picks in the draft at 15. Georgia boy going to Atlanta. You know they fucking love it. That's great for the fan base.
Steal. This is
He
a top 10
fell.
guy.
He should have went 8 to the Panthers.
Top 10 guy.
Incredible edge rusher. I had him higher than Mikael Williams,
Me too.
and for right reason. I mean,
One spot ahead for me.
oh man, it was strange.
It's a
to
gold
me
jacket
that
guy,
he fell
and
this far.
It's funny because all the talks out of Carolina were about they were just so glowing about Jalen Walker. That's their guy. Like the odds were like crazy that they were going to take him.
Why do they not? I don't know. I don't get it.
And then,
But I get it.
and then an
I do
insider out of Atlanta said that Jalen Walker was like the guy on their big board, like the guy. They wanted him. That was their guy. I think it was like third or second
Yeah,
on their
they're
big board.
hate to see Bryce Young get sacked by this.
And
motherfucker
Jalen Walker's
over
going to make
and
them
over.
pay. Atlanta's going to make them pay
Yeah,
for
it'll
not
be-
going.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly.
I'm not like to say they made the wrong pick in
Jalen
Tedoroa
Walker's gonna
McMillan.
feast. I'm not either because I get
But
it because it was a need too.
It was a need to. But Jalen
Jalen
Walker,
Walker's great. He's a great player.
to me, what the Falcons did trading back in, I'm not sure exactly what they gave up yet. I hadn't looked. I know it was some. It was pretty heavy to move back into
to get James Pierce.
to get James Pierce, but I think that if you have James Pierce, Jalen Walker, Matt Judon, you're
Grady Jarrett.
creating pressure. Like you're winning at the line of scrimmage. So
Crazy, dude.
I think that they were kind of like an
They
A
could just
plus for
rotate
me.
fucking edge rushers.
Yeah,
They
they-
have 4 of them.
It was an A plus for me. Really loved what the Falcons did.
Yeah, Walter Nolan to the Cardinals.
Great pick.
It's a great pick.
I
D
need
tackle out of Ole Miss.
The second best D tackle in the league.
Second best D
Or
tackle in the draft.
In the draft, yeah. I thought that Mason Graham being number one.
Yeah, Kenneth
Number two-
Grant was not
Nah,
number
I
2.
thought number 2, dude. Dude, you look at the tape of Walter Nolan, he's just like unblockable.
Dude, he's so
He's just it's like
he's
it's
so
the backfield.
He's so elusive.
He's
dude.
so elusive.
For a D tackle, it's strange.
But
too,
he's got so much
strong.
power. He's got so much
he's
power to
strong
be
as
so
fuck.
elusive and so much elusiveness to be so big. Walter Nolan is a steal. I had him going to the very next pick at the Bengals. I thought the Bengals it was a good land. I thought the Jade Barrett here. It was
Oh,
Barrett
that's
here.
fair. Yeah, I forgot.
Is what I had, but you know what? Walter Nolan, you nailed that
Shamar
pick.
Stewart here.
Didn't you have Walter Nolan for
No, sorry, I had Derek Harmon.
good
17.
Derek Carmen?
No, I had Walter Nolan for the Cardinals.
I was about to say, you
I had
nailed
Derek
this one.
Harmon for the Bengals. I thought he
that's
was the next
nice.
best
That is
D
true.
tackle.
It was true. Yeah,
I thought he was the next best D tackle.
that's a good guess. But I mean, good pick for Arizona. I think this is a 8 to 10 year guy. If it works out and they want to pay him, they have the money for it.
Right.
This guy's dominant, second best D tackle in the league. Dominates the A gap, drives guards back into the pocket, and slips by them so quick. Sometimes it's like as soon as the ball snaps, he just like does this like bendy, like almost DN type finesse. Just gets in there so quick. He's
sure.
dominant, and sometimes he just seems unblockable. I think this is a guy who could be an All Pro at some point.
Yeah, I'm one D tackle that I loved seeing get drafted. Obviously, was Tonka Hemingway.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I mean, the motherfucker was like
where did he go? I saw it.
he was like number 1 in the shuttle and the fucking
Yeah.
all the 3 cone. He was all of that. He was so
Carolina's
fucking
defense
fast.
did very well in this draft.
Yeah, it's really sad to see all those guys go for us.
I know it's a lot, but they're saying that the defense might be even better. But expectations for the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison elevates. He hits 1,000 yards, 6
James
touchdowns.
Conner, if he can stay healthy,
He proved that he could.
he'll be a wild card.
At
Maybe
best.
9-10 wins.
I don't believe in Kyler Murray. He's played long enough in this league to be competitive, though. They got some pieces. Trey McBride's
What's your
Monster.
ceiling for the Panthers?
that's a good question. In that division, it's
Seven,
wide
8,
open.
7-8 wins though.
7 wins.
Yeah.
8
don't believe
wins.
too
That's the
much.
ceiling, yeah. But if they could do that and Bryce Young is competitive and like New England last year, only won like what was it, 3 to 5 games? I think it was like 3 or 4. I think it was 4 games. Yeah, they won 4 games, had to win in 3. But the fact that we saw a quarterback that could actually handle it when it's the worst case scenario. They were competitive in like several games. If you can get that out of Bryce Young and win 7 games, that's a win for me.
Right.
Add some more pieces, develop your quarterback, continue to address. You're not going to come out here and win 10 games, Carolina. It's not happening.
No, it's not.
The division is
It's
wide open.
I mean, the
Wide
Bengals and the Bucks and the Falcons. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy
Yeah.
games to win. I mean,
Yeah, we're going to project.
Michael Penix, we'll see. I mean, we know that we got the Bucks winning. the
Oh
division.
yeah, for sure. And it's going to come down to like we'll look at the schedule and
Tonka
see.
Hemingway went to the Raiders.
We'll see who finishes between the
4th
Saints
round.
and the Panthers. You know,
Yeah, I got
the Saints are
Panthers winning
up
that.
against it. Kellen Moore is up against it.
Yeah.
I'm a believer, but he has like maybe 6 weeks to prepare one of the rawest talents in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe? I get it. I completely get it. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talked about it.
Yeah, we can move on from him.
But
we can move on from him.
But the point is that the Saints could easily finish dead last in this division.
Right.
They're definitely, odds are, they're finished dead last, next to dead last. That's what the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think
so
the Panthers will probably be next.
I think 7-8 wins. I think that's accurate for Carolina.
Yeah. We have the Cardinals. I think they'll be a wild card or potentially be a wild card. It just depends.
Rams winning the division?
Yeah. Yeah, the Rams or the 49ers. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
will it be two wild cards from the West? Probably
sure.
not.
Shemar Stewart, this is the Tyler Shuck of DNs.
No.
With better physical traits. Yeah, it is. With better physical traits. That's why he went higher. He had 4 sacks in 3 years. The dude is 280 and runs a 4.4. He's a freak.
Right. Yeah, Tyler Shuck is not
freak.
That.
He ran a 4.6, the second fastest.
Yeah, he's not
and he's 6'5", 221, stands strong in the pocket, and still doesn't measure up to how amazing the measurables are for Shemar Stewart. Shemar Stewart is a gamble on physical traits. He hasn't done anything.
Dude. He played 4 years.
I'll give him this.
Or 3.
He's good at the point of attack. He has no move, no inside move, no bull rush, nothing.
Yeah.
That's why he can't
just
get
fast,
sacks.
Yeah.
But he can stop the run.
But the good thing is
he can stop the run.
You go to the NFL. Hey, them guys are going to develop those moves.
To me, the ceiling is Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh God, that's so sad.
That's the ceiling for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's a very good ceiling.
I believe Jadeveon Clowney had 8 sack seasons. He might have hit 10 at some point. I can't remember if he ever hit 10.
It was close.
But he had some 8 sacks. That's great. 8 sacks, but if you could be a top 5 run stuffer and get 8 sacks, it's really underrated and a player that's going to get mocked. But like Jadeveon Clowney did, but that's what he did.
9.5 was the best he had for the Ravens in 2023.
That's crazy. I think that's kind of what my expectations are for Shemar Stewart.
9.5 sacks for the fucking Ravens 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a good. You got him paid in Carolina, I think,
yeah,
or wherever.
He had 5.5 last year for the Panthers.
Yeah.
He had 9 with the Browns, 9 with the Texans.
I kind of think that's what we're going to see.
9.5 with the Texans.
How do you feel about him? I know you've seen he's a freak.
I think that's a great comp. I think comparing him to Jadeveon Clowney, he's got all of the athletic ability, but can he develop what it takes? Can he develop the moves? Does he have the will to develop the moves? I think he might be able to be a little bit better than Clowney if he can develop those moves, but that's hard. That's hard to do this late in your life, especially against way better talent now.
Yeah. It's a guy who I thought would slide to to Sean McVay, but
yeah, I had him going at 15 because I thought Jalen Walker wouldn't be there.
I get it. I mean,
the Falcons need an edge rusher.
He's the unicorn in this draft if you're betting on talent.
Yeah, but looking back at it, honestly, dude, edge rusher, kind of I don't know. Do I like James Pierce Jr. better? No, I like Shemar Stewart. I do like Shemar Stewart.
I get it. He's an athletic freak. Yeah. He's a bet. He's a gamble. Yeah,
either
you lit it on fire or you got
the Bengals got some really good picks
Pro Bowl
in this
edge
draft.
rusher.
They didn't go running back, which was really smart of them, I feel like.
I think it is too.
Because they have their guy, and they went Demetrius Knight in the second round. They helped out their defense, which they needed.
That's what they needed to do.
I mean, if they would have spent all 7 picks on defense, I wouldn't have been mad at them.
Look, we all know they were going edge rusher because the formula is they're going to be up a lot of points, a lot of volume.
I had them going D tackle, which also was
that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Because I had Walter Nolan here. I had him going D tackle too. So, but I get it. You want to dominate the inside and you want to get after the passer because they're going to be up a lot of points. Odds are is that defense is going to see a lot of passing downs because the offense is going to have to catch up. They're going to put up a lot of points. They're going to be a team that averages 28 points a game.
Oh, they did go running back. They went Taj Brooks in the 6th round. I don't even know who the fuck
I don't know who that is. That's sad if we don't know him.
Running
back because we know all the running backs.
No, dude, I don't know who it is.
Expectations for the Bengals. Super Bowl ceiling.
I mean, nobody watches Texas Tech's running backs though. So
true. Expectations for the Bengals is Super Bowl ceiling. Floor is they get one game before the wild card because if they start slow like they tend to do.
Don't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's so crazy, dude. That is really it, man. Gray Zabel, we talked about him. It's a good fit.
I had him.
What you gonna do after this, man? I'm gonna drink Bud Light. I'm gonna go home and drink this busted in his face of Busch Lights.
I mean, the most versatile lineman in the draft, and he played every position. He played from left tackle all the way until
center,
across.
Yeah.
He's known as a center interior guy. I don't think he can play tackle in the league, but I think he can play center.
He was drafted as a guard, so
yes, and I think he plays center. I think he can play guard, and just as well as I do if you watch Kenneth Walker or anybody on that team that they needed interior help.
Fucking God,
so bad. This was a little bit of a reach. I think a lot of people had Gray Zabel on their big board around pick 20 or around pick 30, but to me
which is honestly, dude, after hearing some of the news, it was like the Seahawks knew they were drafting.
Yeah, it was obvious. That's why I had him slotted in there.
So crazy.
The interior,
looking to the Seahawks enough.
the interior help that they needed, we saw it.
Yeah,
I had
did
Kenneth
that.
Walker.
Yeah.
You did, and I remember you texting me like, "This center is like
Killing
destroying
me.
me."
He's stressing
Yeah, and
me
I'm
the fuck
like,
out.
I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad I ain't got to deal with this. This is horrible."
Yeah, Gray's able.
But
though.
Gray's
Great
able is
pick
going to
for them.
really
North
help
Dakota
them
State.
guys. Sam Darnold, do you believe?
Yeah, I think he'll do all right.
Yeah.
He's got weapons.
You said it. You didn't say it like you said it like kinda.
Sure.
Like,
They could get 10 wins. They get 9, 10 wins.
tough division.
I mean, dude, look at the fucking talent they got around him though. Cooper Kupp, JSN.
Cooper Kupp and
JSN is great.
It's great.
And Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Dude, Zach Charbonnet.
They drafted Nick Emenwari.
Yeah, it's great. The great defensive help.
Yeah.
And they got some offensive line help. I mean,
There's potential.
there's a lot of
They're
potential
hopeful.
there.
I'd be excited.
Do I believe in Sam Darnold? They just lost Pete Carroll. It could
Yeah,
be
can the
bad.
coach develop?
What's the floor? Sam Darnold turns back into a pumpkin.
That's the floor. Could you imagine? Oh my
The
god!
clock strikes midnight.
Kevin
on
O'Connell
October
just got him
31st.
paid because he's so good at coaching.
Yeah.
It's probably the
The
case.
clock strikes midnight and he turns back into Adam Gase.
Oh, that sucks. If you're a Seattle fan, JSN is like in like the wasteland at that point.
But the thing is, I don't think that's the case, dude. Did you see some of the throws that Sam Darnold made last year?
He developed.
Did you see the one throw? You know which one I'm going to talk about, where they're on like their own 3-yard line, and
Oh my god, it was
Sam
amazing.
Darnold's
It was
in his
amazing.
own end zone getting rushed, and he just zings it to Justin Jefferson for a 97-yard touchdown
It's
across the middle between defenders.
It's
Pressure.
it might be his best throw that
Ever.
I've seen. It's
Ever.
the best
He's
throw
ever
I've
made.
seen from him. He's got the pockets collapsing. He steps into it.
and
this
zings
is
it in his own end zone.
This is the throw that got
Getting
him.
paid, yeah.
That got him drafted number 1 or 2, whichever one it was. I
Yeah,
can't
I think
remember.
it was number 2 to the Jets.
Is the ability to have the
Was that
prototype
fucking 2017?
strong arm, step into the throw, climb the pocket ladder. The DNs are crushing in behind you to have the presence to step up on your own goal line and rocket it on a rope down the field and split 2 safeties to Justin Jefferson was why he got drafted there. That's a throw that Shedeur Sanders cannot make,
Right.
especially if you're in Chicago.
Especially because he won't step up in the pocket.
That's my point. Right now, he can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have, and not only
What
that,
fucking year did he get drafted, dude? Sam Darnold. I thought it was 2017, but
2022.
nah, he ain't that young.
That's true.
He ain't near that.
No, he's been on the 49ers.
He got drafted in 2018.
2018. Yeah,
He was pick number 4.
Yes, right. Yeah, pick 4. Okay, I didn't think it was 1. I thought it was like 2.
I was thinking 2017.
Yeah, I'm way off with Sam Darnold, but
He was pick 4. Yeah, because it was Baker Mayfield,
that
Saquon
throw-
Barkley, Sam Darnold at 3, and then
if you wanna believe, as Seahawks fans, if you want to just like get a little more optimism, go look at that throw.
Yeah, he's legit. I think he
that
could be
throw
legit.
was why he got
And I've
drafted
always
so high.
believed in Sam Darnold because of him coming out of college, dude.
but-
USC.
Yes,
Yeah,
Had all the physical
he had
traits.
all the good talent.
All
He's
the
got a
traits.
crazy strong arm.
all the traits.
We'll see. Who's
thought it was gonna be
who's
fun.
the coach for the Jets now?
Defensive coordinator for the Lions,
Glenn.
Glenn,
Glenn.
yes. I believe Cinema Hard Knocks preaches physicality.
We'll see.
I like him.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Got some
Can we
offensive line
take
help.
a little break before we bust out these next
Yeah, I want
10
to
or
get
11?
another beer, so that
Okay.
works out.
We'll be back, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back. Cheers.
Kellen
man.
Moore, my guy.
Yeah, we're back, man. We're back, guys.
What are we at? We're on the Bucks.
Yeah, we're on the Bucks. Emeka Egbuka, dude. Emeka Egbuka.
We both had him as the number 2 receiver in this draft.
Yeah, I had him going to. I had him mocked as the 3rd receiver, but I wanted him to be. I betted him to be the 2nd.
Because you thought he was a second. Yeah, I'm
he's
right
the
there with
second,
you.
yeah, he's the second best receiver. There. I think he should have easily went to the Cowboys or. I mean, I don't think the Bucks is the right pick, but
I had him as
they got
my
a lot
number
of mouths
2.
to feed out there.
I thought that I had the Chargers mocked with Matthew Golden because I didn't think Amari Hampton would be there because I didn't think Jade Bear would be there. Barron would be there for the Broncos. Everybody had Hampton mocked to the Broncos. That was a perfect fit.
Yeah.
But honestly, he's just as good as fit at the Chargers. We'll get to them.
But yeah, Emeka Egbuka, that's where I had him going, was to the Chargers.
I'm going to the Bills at 30 because I thought people kind of seen him after T-Mac and Golden.
Which is insane.
Which
Golden
is
not that guy.
I agree. I think
I think
Abuka
Golden's a
went.
bust, dude.
I think that
He's in a good position though. He's in a very good
that's
spot.
why I think that's why I don't rule it. You know what I'm saying? I don't rule it out.
But I don't believe in Golden like that. I think he's just like a Xavier Worthy type.
who is getting developed right, but it's going to take some time.
As a wide receiver too.
If Xavier Worthy went somewhere else,
as a wide receiver too, with the best head coach and quarterback in the league.
He's developing.
Yes,
so like he sees the path now.
Which Matthew Golden has a great quarterback and a great head coach.
Matt LaFleur is going to be
very offensive minded. Yeah,
they needed a deep threat,
but this is not the Matthew Golden pick that we're talking about. We're talking about Emeka Egbuka.
Wonderful.
There's
hands.
nothing to say about this guy.
Wonderful hands.
There's nothing more to say.
Best hands to me in the draft.
Travis Hunter has got some fucking crazy good hands.
Travis Hunter does have good hands, yeah.
But
it's hard.
Yeah, he's a receiver. Yeah, Emeka Egbuka is the best route runner in this class. I mean, dude broke the receptions record at Ohio State.
I agree with that.
I mean,
the ability to find a soft spot in the zone. I mean, Emeka Egbuka, the league runs 70-something% of that.
Would you have been mad if the Panthers drafted him? No,
I would have been shocked, but it would have been very helpful.
I wouldn't have been mad
for Bryce Young.
I mean, I think Emeka Egbuka is right there with T-Mac.
He's NFL ready. Egbuka could
tier.
come in, I think, and if he was needed and was the number 2, I don't think he could be a number 1 right off the jump. But like as a number 2, like if the Bengals moved on from Higgins and had Jamar Chase and Egbuka came in to fill that role, I think he would have 1,000 yards.
Yeah, very quickly.
1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. 85 receptions.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love the player. I mean, he reminds me a lot of like a Brandon Ayuk type, very good across the middle.
I like that.
Fast.
Yeah, I like that comp. That's a good comp.
He's just good hands. Good, reliable receiver, like a freaking Jarvis Landry or a Larry Fitzgerald.
I don't think he's as big as Ayuk, but the
like a Larry Fitz, like good hands, good route runner.
Yeah,
he's going to be reliable.
Yeah, for sure. Good hands. He doesn't need to be. Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
Like a Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
just like a Devontae Smith.
But man, I mean, just toe tapping sidelines. Just he can catch it where if
ball.
You get it there, he's going to catch the ball.
And guess who's going to get it there? It's Baker Mayfield.
I mean,
it might be a little fast, might be a little hard.
Like you said, it broke the reception record at Ohio State.
That's got to say something.
That says everything I need to know. He could have been 5'8". Well, I ain't gonna say 5'8". 5'10", like ran a 4.5. I would have been fine. That's Julian Edelman.
Yeah, what was his 40?
The ability, the hands, the ability to find the soft spot in the zone. This guy is going to be amazing. And at first I was a little puzzled by the pick because I was like, okay, they're just improving on a surplus they already have. Chris Godwin, K-Dot, and Mike Evans. The guy who was the guy who filled in for Godwin last year that was the rookie who was pretty productive.
Jalen McMillan.
Played well.
Sad, dude. I hated
to see them
draft him because I love McMillan.
That's really the untold story about Egbuka. You love Egbuka so much, but the fact that like McMillan produced, and that's why I had Jahad Campbell going here. I thought they could really use the like second layer help of just a guy who can kind of go vertical, a guy who can like in surprise blitzes, in zone blitzes. He can rush the passer very well as long as be a field general too. I thought I had Jahad Campbell going here. He slipped, and Howie Roseman gets away with it again, as he always does.
We'll get there.
We will.
But, yeah, Emeka Egbuka, dude, is a great pick for the
Bucs.
Pick. I don't think they needed receiver help. I had them going Nick Minwari here.
I like that pick, too.
I think they needed DB help. Yeah. I think they ended up going DB.
I originally had on Malachi Starks going here, but
which is great, too.
Which aligns with your Minwari pick.
Yeah, but Emeka Egbuka, a good, solid receiver. I think that tells me that they're a little scared about Chris Godwin.
And Mike Evans has some hamstring issues.
And they don't know.
Keep him out.
I think you could see next year, you could see Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan be the only 2 receivers left on this.
I think that's the worst case.
And that's good.
And you know what?
I believe in Jalen McMillan.
You know what?
I think he's a good receiver.
I do too. And it's a shame that he's a number 4 in there because I think he's a solid number 3 who had the potential to make the leap to number 2.
I think he's a number 3 right now.
You think he's
Egbuka hadn't taken a NFL snap.
Hey, you're right. You're 100% right.
Jalen McMillan,
he got to earn it.
McMillan flashed heavy at the end.
That's true.
Like 7 touchdowns in 5 games.
Just roll over.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
And he's got his second year with Baker Mayfield.
True. He's got a route tree to learn, and he's got a guy who produced last year who's going to push the roster.
Exactly. Yeah,
I totally agree with that. That's a good take.
Emeka Egbuka, like you said,
that's a good take.
JSN is the perfect comp. You said that earlier. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
JSN's the perfect comp, or maybe you said that about somebody else. Regardless, he's coming in. I mean, JSN is right on the money. I mean, he's coming in to be the 4th wide receiver. You said that off air, actually, about Egbuka. We were talking about it.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. I mean, like, you give it a couple years when these veterans go away. DK Metcalf starts to slouch a little bit. Tyler Lockett starts to slouch a little bit. JSN stepped in. You got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin coming off the injury. Mike Evans getting older. Egbuka will be the guy in 2 or 3 years. But right now he's the number 4.
Was Minwari the pick for
the Seahawks? Round 2.
Yeah, was that the pick that they got from Pittsburgh, or was that a different pick?
I can tell you.
Because I'm curious. Because to me, I'll be honest, what I've seen out of DK Metcalf, I know this is a little sidebar. I know DK Metcalf is everything you want, and
that was the pick they got from Tennessee.
Okay,
Tennessee traded back.
Okay, I wonder who they drafted with the pick from Pittsburgh, but I would have traded DK Metcalf for a second round pick. I would have if I was Seattle.
Yeah.
I would have done it. I mean, I've seen enough out of DK Metcalf to know
that that was basically the same pick. So Seattle used that pick they got from Steelers to trade up to get Nicky Moore.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. I kind of thought they were tied, but
the Titans, that was the 20th pick in the second round. They used that UCLA edge rusher.
Help me, what's his name?
Yeah. Olawafame Oladejo.
Oladejo.
Yeah,
Oladejo.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper loves that dude. I don't know anything about him. I haven't watched him, but Mel Kiper's
Mel Kiper can shuck one.
Shuck one. Shuck these nuts.
Get shucked.
Get shucked.
That's what it's going to be, man.
Get shucked. Dang, Kellen Moore. Come on, I'm pulling for you, buddy.
I'm pulling for him, too, because I like Kellen Moore, of course.
Yeah, I'm a Kellen Moore fan,
but,
dude.
yeah, I mean, Egbuka, obviously a great pick.
Yeah, for 100%.
The Broncos going Jahdae Barron was really just not right to me.
To me, it was such a
Sean Payton move.
It was. Yeah. Every now and then he'll throw in the Marshawn Lattimore, he'll throw in the random defensive back that is going to pan out, and Jahdae Barron is a baller.
He's gonna pan out, dude. He fell.
This is
Far.
beautiful.
He should have won at 13.
This is beautiful.
He should have won at 13.
He should have won at 13 because I had Will Johnson there. I think you had Will Johnson there too. I didn't
consider the injury risk with Johnson.
Yeah, I did, but I'm just big on Will Johnson. I've watched a lot of Will Johnson.
He's good. He's a baller.
I thought they would go
and
after
the slump
him
from last year too.
Yeah, for sure. He got hurt, and
all the whole team fucking.
But honestly, all the reports were that Jahdae Barron was going to be the guy, the first DB taken off the board, and I had him going to Arizona, but this is a steal to pair with Patrick Surtain.
It's Pat Surtain.
Pat Surtain, excuse me.
Patrick
Surtain was the father.
The
father. Yeah.
The father.
Yeah, Pat Surtain. The third? Second.
The second.
I mean, one of the top 5 DBs in the league. I mean, to put him on the opposite side is going to really help him
So
blossom and bloom. It's such a great developing, just rich pick that's going to blossom. I mean, they're going to be
going to blossom. The father.
It really is. The father is going to blossom.
That's right.
But yeah, it's gonna. I think it was the pick.
And they ended up going RJ Harvey, which is so fun, dude. It's one of my favorite.
It's a Sean
picks.
Payton pick.
Second round UCF running back. Who is their other running back?
When I saw it, I was like,
"Who's the running back?" It ain't Javonte Williams.
He left.
He's at the Cowboys.
Who was the back? Who were the backups there? That was okay. So you had
Javonte Williams.
Who was the rookie that was kind of coming on or was trying to at least? Everybody had hope for it.
Audric Estime.
That was it.
Audric Estime. And then
who was the other back who was ahead of Estime? The Estime came on a little later because he was the youth. But dang, who was the other back?
I know who it is.
I know it's bothering me.
It really bothers me. Oh, Jaleel McLaughlin.
He shined 2 years ago. He shined.
And Tyler Beatty.
They were just throwing everything they could.
Dude, yeah. Tyler Beatty McLaughlin is right now the starter. That's going to change.
He's
RJ Harvey will be the starter.
Yeah, there'll be some
RJ Harvey Dent. Two-Face.
Okay, there's something there. I like that.
Two-Face, yeah. I like it though. It's fun. A.T. Perry's on that roster. I didn't even know that. I thought he was still in the Saints.
Expectations for the Broncos?
Oh, I think they make the playoffs.
Okay.
They made the playoffs last year, and I think it should get better.
The division is tough.
The division's tough. That's fine.
The divisions, because if the game's out, this is how quick the top from the bottom in the NFL is not very far. We saw how the Texans can go from the top to the bottom. We saw how quick the Commanders can go from the top to the bottom. All it takes is the right guy, the right coach, the right scheme.
Okay, the floor is not making the playoffs, just like the Bengals is. The ceiling is not the Super Bowl.
You don't think that it's not possible?
No,
I agree.
Think so.
Totally
I think the ceiling is the divisional round.
Okay.
Maybe they're not making the AFC Championship. Not in the AFC. They can't do it. If they're in the divisional round, they got to play who?
Can we get 4 teams better than the Broncos right now that will make it to the AFC Championship before they do?
Yes. The Ravens, the Chiefs,
Yes.
the Bills.
Yes.
That's 3. That was
pretty
quick.
solid.
That's quick.
Cincinnati.
That's really fast. Sure. The
Chargers. I mean, that's the Chargers and the Broncos are split to me.
The
That's,
Steelers, maybe. Probably not.
They're going to be competitive, and they're going to have consistency.
So now we got to say the Bengals, the Chargers, the
We're leaving
Steelers.
someone heavy out.
I don't think we are because it should have been the Dolphins. Don't exist
They
anymore.
don't.
AFC South, the Texans, the Jags, the Broncos probably make the playoffs. Probably the divisional round.
yeah,
They could make
They're bringing back stability. They're bringing
I think
back
the divisional round's the ceiling
I think that's right
because they're gonna,
agree.
if they are in there, it's probably going to be the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs. They're not beating any of those teams. Maybe obviously any given Sunday, but
Yeah, I agree with everything you
yeah,
said.
they're not making the divisional round or the
100% agree.
division
And I think that they'll be really good. I think that Sean Payton will improve the running game, get rid of Javonte Williams. Sadly, after the Achilles, was it Achilles or ACL?
It was ACL.
It hurt him.
Yeah,
Javonte Williams was a good prospect. He ran a 4.56,
sad.
a little slow coming out of college, but
He's
he
not
had
that slow though. He's a big boy.
he was a big dude who could it was going to happen. It was going to happen for Javonte Williams. It's a shame, but the Cowboys got a guy who who's going to average 3.8, and
Yeah.
they'll just air it out and have to win games through.
RJ
that
Harvey
arm.
ran a 4.4 at a UCF, so that's
Solid.
fun. Yeah,
That's
it's fun
fun.
getting him in there.
But yeah, I think that I think the Broncos. Yeah, I think you nailed it with the Broncos. I think that the defense is going to be incredible. I think that Barron is a great addition to an already surplus in the
Yeah,
secondary.
I wish they would have went a better running back, but I'm okay with RJ Harvey. He's a fast guy.
Yeah, we
He
all
can
had
take over this backfield.
we all had a Mario Hampton here, but honestly, Barron, I don't hate taking, especially with Surtain on the opposite end. I mean, that's going to be solid for them. It makes sense.
No, I did have Emeka Egbuka as the second wide receiver. I had Matthew Golden falling out of the first round.
I had Golden going to the Chargers. I thought it made sense.
I had Egbuka going to the Chargers at 22.
That also made sense.
Yeah.
I thought that there was. I didn't hear a lot about Egbuka coming out. I just kind of liked him because the same reasons you like him.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
The same reasons the NFL liked
the
him.
same reasons the
second wide
NFL
receiver
likes.
coming off the board.
But there wasn't a lot of talk out of I listened to a lot of
need to be. They need
podcasts,
to
a lot
be,
of
man.
insiders and stuff, and there was no talk about Egbuka.
Yeah.
And I thought that okay, that's why it's going to the Bills at 30.
Yeah.
People love Golden. All the talk was Golden and
Yeah, they're just wrong.
and
Just 'cause he was
McMillan
fast.
and yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
Which he's at the right spot. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Broncos, but
Yeah,
Derek
Derek Harmon
Harmon.
to the Steelers. This is fucking awesome, dude.
Mocked it,
TJ
had
Watt, TJ Watt,
Loved it.
Derek Harmon together. I mean, that's an awesome front seven.
there's a lot of upset Pittsburgh fans who really wanted Shedeur Sanders, and I'm here to say
and I get it.
they're wrong.
They should have taken him in the third.
I
Probably.
get it on the outside looking in, but
Caleb Johnson was a steal in the third round.
Oh,
too,
that's
from
an amazing
Iowa.
pick. They got a younger pickup truck.
Yeah,
Their pickup truck was the
Najee
tires
Harris.
was getting flat. It wasn't doing very well anyway. It was kind of
And
just
it's
getting you to work.
and it shows whenever Amarion Hampton went to the
Yes.
Chargers.
Yes.
And they just picked up Najee Harris. And
Yes.
they said, yeah, but we don't really believe
Yeah.
this guy's going to.
Now, Warren is a
Najee Harris,
good back. Warren
he's not a full fourth
he's
down
not a
fullback.
full. He's not a full. He can't carry the full workload. You need a running back. They got Caleb Johnson who can handle a full workload.
Yeah, he can.
He won't at the beginning. He'll get all the goal line work or cut into a lot of the goal line work. Warren's going to be heavy early in packages. He'll be a good late round, flyer to pick in fantasy. Who's going to have some value?
To me, Jalen Warren is a third down receiving back.
Absolutely. But you know what he can do? He comes in when you're tired. He can make plays. He averages pretty well on the ground. So, on third down and 5 when they do that zone read or that zone inside zone and he picks up 5 or 6, he's always efficient. He always finds a way to make the first guy miss. He's productive, but that's all he is a James White-esque, a little more of a running back than James White, but not as good as with his hands, but he can be productive with his hands.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know?
I think James White's a good comp for him. But yeah, Caleb Johnson, 240 carries last year, 1,500 yards.
Can handle a full workload.
21 touchdowns. He averaged 6.4 a carry last year.
That's incredible.
It's fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
I had Caleb Johnson.
Iowa, right?
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson
Physical,
going.
man.
I had Caleb Johnson going to the Chiefs at the end of the first.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was what should have happened. It should have been probably
That's
offensive line,
fun, yeah.
was
Caleb
kinda fun,
Johnson. Yeah, a lot of people are big on Caleb Johnson. He's thick. He's physical. He runs downhill. He's a goal line back that's going to score. He's everything that fits that Pittsburgh mentality. which
for
is
sure.
why they drafted Derek Harmon in the first round. Derek Harmon's physical at the point of attack. He's going to clog
Good
up
run
that
stopper.
A gap, and you got T.J. Watt on the outside. Still got Fitzpatrick there. There's a lot of hope out of there. And honestly, with the build they went, I'm not a Will Howard guy, but with the build they went in this draft, Will Howard fits, man.
All right, man. I would have went Tyler Shuck over Will Howard. We found the line.
Listen.
I would have went Will Shuck over at 4.
Tyler
Shuck
Shuck
fourth.
at
Sorry,
4th?
Tyler Shuck. Yeah, he was my 4th quarterback.
You go Milrow?
He'd been my 5th quarterback.
Okay.
Because I was thinking Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, Quinn Ewers, fucking Will Howard.
He'll be out of the league
Yeah.
soon. Will Howard actually landed in a spot where
It could happen. He's another Kenny. He's basically Kenny Pickett, not as good. Kenny Pickett was kind of good coming out of Pittsburgh.
there's one trait he has, though, is that he's led a championship team, and I think that's what Pittsburgh saw. They saw the ability to game manage, not turn the ball over, and,
Yeah, win the game.
win the game, and, in big
I
pressure
mean,
situations,
let's be
he
honest.
can win a championship, and
Emeka
they saw that.
Egbuka broke the receptions record. He could have done it without having Will Howard throwing it to him.
For sure. That's
So,
true.
There you go.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
Derek Harmon is a very good pick here.
Yeah.
And the Steelers getting Caleb Johnson's amazing. Amarion Hampton to the Chargers, dude. It's fucking awesome.
They
for
ran.
him. It's so fucking
They
good. dude.
ran.
It's
to
so
the-
good. It's so good for them.
Yeah. I had
He's
Matthew
the second best
Golden
running
here.
back. He's the second best running back in the class. I didn't think he would be here, so that's why I didn't have it mocked. I had Emeka Egbuka here, which he wasn't there either. So I probably would have had Matthew Golden here if I would have had Egbuka gone, but I don't know. I like Amarion Hampton. I think he's a way better prospect than Matthew Golden.
I did too.
He's physical, dude. He's a physical fucking runner. He's just good all around. It's perfect for Harbaugh. Like, it's perfect for that offense.
Yeah, it fits everything that they want to do. He's going to be eased in. It's going to be a 50-50 split. I think Najee Harris is going to have a huge role in that offense because there's going to be volume for both. We saw what happened with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. They just got two guys who are better than both of those guys.
Yeah, and not to mention they got Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Who's a very good receiver.
Yes.
A very good receiver in the second round. I was really excited.
That
to
was
see
a
they
good
got two
pick.
weapons for the offense for
For
Justin
sure.
Herbert.
I think that the identity is going to be what it's been, and I think it's going to work, and it's going to get them to the playoffs. I think,
Najee Harris is perfect for that.
to me, I'm betting on the Chargers over the Broncos, but I think that's the line.
I'm with you. Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
with you.
line, though. I
Yeah,
feel
I'm with
like
you.
it could end up 50-50 as far as that division
the
goes.
Chargers' ceiling and floor is the same.
Yeah, but I think that with Harbaugh, it's just going to get better and better every year.
Yeah, this year is
He's
not
got
the year for them.
So much structure, man.
This year, I could see them making it to the divisional round, but
Yeah.
not past.
Yeah.
But that's better than I would have said for last year.
For sure. Some coaches have the structure gene. What's the structure gene? The structure gene is Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, the ability to
That might be a bad thing.
it could be,
Or they
but
just
what it
constantly
does
are good enough.
is it makes your floor amazing. It keeps you in every game. You're competitive everywhere.
But right now, their ceiling is not very high.
Not right now.
Yet.
Not with the quarterback
Yet.
room. Not with the quarterback room. But Harbaugh has the structure gene with the quarterback.
Much higher ceiling for them. Much higher ceiling for the
Chargers.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you
Because
look
of
at
Justin Herbert.
Andy Reid, structure gene. I mean, Sean Payton, structure gene.
Fucking
Sean
let's go ahead and
McVay.
be Nick Sirianni
Nick Sirianni
hasn't missed the playoffs in 4 years that he's been there.
that's structure gene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's dominant.
It's
dude.
locked in.
Very good draft
It's
picks
locked in.
every year.
Yeah. There's championship football that when times get tough in the fourth quarter, some guys like Brandon Staley, Zach
my
Taylor, those
God.
guys, they fold. Guys
Cliff
who have the
Kingsbury,
structured gene,
Love him as an OC. Cliff
they've
Kingsbury is
been
that guy.
there. They're going to coach their way and do those little bit of things like in jiu-jitsu. You need to like grab that wrist, whatever you have to do, that little bit of whatever to gain that leverage,
Shuck
to gain
it
that
off.
next shuck it off. To gain that like next little edge.
Slow song?
That's what the experience does of championship football.
Yeah, Amarian Hampton's going to fit that bill perfectly
Beautiful.
with Najee Harris. It really takes a
Beautiful.
lot of the load off of guys like Lad McConkey and
Yes. They want to run the ball.
yeah.
They want to run the ball, and that's
For
what they're going
sure.
to do. Mario Hampton, to me, was one of my guys in this. He was one of the guys who I thought
super
that,
fun.
although Genti was in a tier of his own, I thought Mario Hampton could be. I mean, he ran a 4.46.
People were talking about his speed. He was slow. I didn't see any of that. I saw a guy who was carrying 20-plus carries in the fourth quarter. So the highlights you would
saying
see.
that he's slow at a 4.46 is crazy.
It's crazy.
So fast.
Especially his size, like 220-plus. I mean,
He's
this
a
guy
big
has
guy.
amazing balance.
Very
He's
powerful back.
thick.
Breakaway speed still.
Breakaway speed.
And that's the thing. The 40 isn't ran in pads.
I know.
When
Why
are we gonna start
not?
doing that?
Why
When are we gonna
not?
grow up?
Why not? Put the cleats on, put the helmet on, do it all.
Yeah, but we believe in the Chargers. Marion Hampton's an awesome spot for him.
Yeah.
Matthew Golden to the Packers, also an awesome spot.
Good place for
The receiver core is dying.
It really is.
I mean,
It's
Christian
falling
Watson,
apart.
Christian Watson is a fucking hospital. He's
not-
injury prone.
He don't have much
and-
longer, does he? He don't have much longer.
Yeah, and then Dontavian Wicks, he might
He
not have
can't
much
catch the
longer on
football.
this earth if he drops the ball again.
Yeah, he can't catch
Might
the
get fucking
football.
Killed.
So athletic.
So good.
So
Great route
good.
runner.
Can get
Fast.
open so fast, athletic, drops the ball every time.
Romeo
he's targeted.
Dobbs is a 2.
Romeo Dobbs has a place in this
Very good
league.
2, yeah.
This is his last
I think
year
it's
on the
his
contract.
contract year,
Yeah, contract year.
And then Jaden Reed.
Athletic freak disappears at times.
Yeah, I mean, is he? I don't know. Sometimes he looks like the best player on the field, and sometimes he's not on the field.
And then he disappears.
Yeah, so also not a number 1,
Doesn't
I guess.
get the volume.
And maybe that's because
and
of him.
I think
There's a reason for
it's
that.
a reason why. He's undersized, but he's shifty.
I mean, Matt LaFleur's seen a lot of good receivers.
Matt LaFleur, I believe in.
Yeah, I do too.
He's
It comes
continued.
from that system.
He has continued the like when the torch was passed to him, the Green Bay torch, which is prestige.
Yeah.
He's continued it and
And he's
continued the
still been there
playoffs.
for a while,
and
yeah.
the Green Bay fans have hope.
Yeah, for sure.
He drafted Jordan Love.
dude. Jesus.
Picking up Josh Jacobs was a
Yeah,
good move.
I believe Matthew Golden could be a 1 here.
That's
That's the ceiling for sure. It's going to be
yeah.
a wide receiver 1.
I understood the
Um,
pick, even though I wasn't big on Golden. I get it. They can develop
What's
him
the ceiling for Matthew Golden?
this year or his career.
His career, is it Tyreek Hill? He's got the speed.
Yeah, that's the comp. He's a
He's
little
not that little. He's
taller.
not that little. Yeah, I think the comp is more like. He reminds me a lot of
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson is kind of there. God, what's his fucking name that played with the Texans that year with all the yards? Will Fuller. That's what he reminds me of. Is Will Fuller. He's
Okay.
fast and can take the top off the team.
Okay,
off the team.
yeah.
He's kind of okay in the slot.
I'm
a
okay with
little
Will
bit, you know?
Fuller. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of
That's
that's
a
my
good one,
comp for
yeah.
him, yeah.
I can see that for sure. He's got the
Matthew
speed.
Golden. I mean, I like Matthew Golden, but I just didn't think he was a first-round receiver. I mean, I would have
thought he was-
taken. I would have. I mean,
I might have taken Luther
fifth.
Burden
I would have
over
taken
him.
5th, dude.
I haven't watched a lot of Luther Burden, but
T Mac. Wait, is that 5th? T Mac.
T-Mac,
Egbuka.
Abuka.
Burden. I'll take him 4th, not including Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Travis Hunter is the unicorn.
Yeah,
They're,
it's not fair.
Duval's going to
Duval.
he's going to put them on both sides. They're going to try the experience. They're going all in.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Matthew
I'm excited
Golden,
to see
It's cool. We'll see. I think that was the right move. You're helping out your guy, and
Playoffs, obviously, expectations for Green Bay.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were very good last year. It just sucked who they had to open up with. I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
They also did draft an offensive tackle from NC State, Anthony Belton.
Okay.
So that's pretty helpful in the second round. And then they got another wide receiver from TCU, Savion Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard his name a couple times. I haven't watched anything on him,
I
but
haven't watched much on him either.
some of these guys,
but
we'll be getting to before the redraft and the dynasty leagues kick off.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that.
We'll get really deep into some of these guys, but can't watch film on all of them, especially at this point. This is
There's
like
200 players. I mean,
yes, right after the draft, but
yeah, Donovan
like
Jackson, dude, Ohio State, the guard that went to the Vikings.
Yep.
I love it. You got to get.
We knew they were going
offensive
O-line
line help
to help
for your
McCarthy.
rookie receiver.
Yeah.
Well, not rookie, but
rookie quarterback. Yeah,
basically
yeah.
or not rookie because he was here.
To
but
me,
basically, he's a rookie. Yeah,
He has technically been in the
But he's been in
system.
there,
He's
yeah.
been around the
he's been watching film and
yeah. But to
So-
me, he's a rookie.
Yeah,
to the
for sure.
league, I thought technically he's a rookie. We need game experience,
which
from
might
him.
be a good thing. You don't have that second year slump
Yeah.
because of film. There's no film on it.
And
That's really good.
they got a lot. Kevin O'Connell, dude, what
Oh,
he did
man,
last
Jesus
year
Christ.
is so underrated. A lot of people believe that this is the best that last year was the best the Vikings will ever have. 14-2, phenomenal year.
Yeah,
A lot of people are like, this is the peak. This is it.
yeah, for sure.
Now, maybe they slide to 10 and whatever and they fade away. I don't think that's the case. I believe
away.
I believe in Kevin O'Connell. I didn't believe in J.J. McCarthy. I watched a lot of Michigan football that year. My prediction back in 2023
Yeah,
was for them to win the championship that year. And, McCarthy, though, the one thing I will say is that he's got the championship gene that Will Howard has. Stetson Bennett has that gene. That's just one little trait. Doesn't mean it means whatever it means.
Yeah, and I think it's important, though. They go out there and they get a guard from a championship team. I mean, why Will Howard looked so good is because he had a lot of time in the pocket. That's one thing that was
definitely
kind of a knock on Will Howard, which is weird. But he had a lot of time in the pocket. He didn't have to worry about getting sacked so much. But Donovan Jackson is one of the reasons for
the talent around him is going to be the knock on Will Howard.
Yeah, which sucks.
It does.
There's no reason.
I know, but
that's how it goes. I mean, but yeah, Donovan Jackson was a pretty solid guard if you watch any of his tape. I mean,
I had Josh Connerly here.
Solid, yeah, and I get that. I mean, the tackle from Oregon.
We knew they were going to invest in the O-line to protect McCarthy. I mean, he's coming off injury. You got a lot there. You got Hawkinson, who is this a make or break year for Hawkinson? Coming off the injury, it was a slow start. That's why Detroit traded him. He's shown flashes and had been very productive at Minnesota, but injured again. You know, you got Addison and
I had Jade Barron here.
I like that.
Yeah, I had him falling.
That was a fit. I was a fit for sure. They definitely need the help in the secondary. But I think McCarthy, I've come around on him. There's some crossing routes that you can go look at the film at Michigan where it's NFL throws where he's like fitting it in between the guys running across the field. He's stepping up into the pocket while he's doing this. You got the linebacker right here, right? He's kind of coming by the linebacker, and the safety's kind of coming up to play the pass. So he has to fit it in this window to where the linebacker can't tip and the safety can't destroy the receiver and create a tip. And he fits it beautifully, and the receiver runs for 20 more yards. And you're like, dang, him and Colson Loveland, that's what brought Colson Loveland, like 6'6", amazing route runner.
Yeah.
We kind of lost a little bit of Colson Loveland this year. Injuries, that's why we thought Tyler Warren was projected, but not to get too carried away.
Well, yeah, I mean, and his last season at Michigan, he was 72.3% completion.
Accurate.
Only 2,900 yards, which there was a run-heavy team with Harbaugh.
Yes.
22 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions.
Yeah, very,
so
very accurate and can manage the game. Kevin O'Connell saw that.
Yeah.
And I was honestly I was against the pick. I was against
I was
McCarthy.
They needed a quarterback.
All I saw was a game manager.
I thought it was going to be Bo Nix
that had a pedestrian arm that could not push receivers that could get vertical. That's what I saw.
Yeah,
I didn't see it at Michigan because Harbaugh is such a grinder. He's such a let's run, play action, run crossers. You're seeing it now at the Chargers, but I've come around, especially seeing O'Connell just do what he did with Sam Darnold. I just believe in that through and through. I think that's here to stay. I think that's legitimate, and I think that he moved on, which I also disagree with. He got 35+ touchdowns from Sam Darnold, dude. And he moved on because he believes in McCarthy that much.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I get it too for sure. But it's nice seeing him, get these weapons or get these offensive line pieces for him.
For sure. Expectation?
Expectation for the Vikings is the playoffs.
Super Bowl?
No.
Too early.
No, not with J.J. McCarthy.
Not yet. We need to see more.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, the running back situation's weird too.
Aaron Jones will be productive.
Yeah, they got somebody else too, didn't they?
I think so, but he can't continue to handle the volume they give him.
Exactly.
They need something.
Yeah, then,
Chandler ain't it either.
No, yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Cam Akers was there, but
the Giants trading back in. Jordan Mason was the running back they got.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's the Shanahan ties that O'Connell has.
Sure. But then Jackson Dart, the Giants trade back in with the Texans. I think it was a terrible move for the Texans, but Jackson Dart going at 25. I think he was the second best quarterback on the board, and or in the draft.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, I think it was. I get it. You trade back in. You need a quarterback at some point. He's not ready to start, so you put him on a team. It's a good landing spot for him.
Great landing spot.
Young receiver on the team.
You're going to develop him. Totally agree with all of that. I understand. I give the Giants an A+ with what they've done. I mean, I'm not a Giants fan. Everybody knows that. I got a New England jersey on, but with taking Abdul Carter and not buying into all the crazy hype and the circulation of Shedeur and Hunt, whatever.
Shedeur.
Trading up, I think that and then trading back in for Jackson Dart. Now, honestly, Jackson Dart is a guy I don't like the personality.
And they D-tackle from Toledo too.
Right.
Yeah,
they had to go D-line. You're going to get mauled if you don't. Jackson Dart is a project. The combine was promising. He looked good. I'm talking about when you throw a deep ball at a combine, what you're really looking for is you're not necessarily looking for like you don't want to see receivers break any stride at all. When you see a receiver slow down at all, you want the
underthrown pass,
you want the receiver to
NFL.
absolutely have to work for it. The way when a receiver has to max his speed out at the top of a 9 route,
Yeah, that's a touchdown.
the receiver has to have good hands because you were like, we know he's running full speed.
Yeah.
Full speed. He's maxed out. He's gassed out the brink, and that's when it's the hardest to catch a football, especially if the DB's on you.
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to, if you start seeing receivers not being able to, like, you start seeing them slow down, you know, it's never good. But I thought that Jackson Dart didn't do that. I thought that his receivers were like, everything was accurate. He's athletic. He's going to pick up some rushing yards and some first downs. And he's got one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, go watch the Kentucky game with Ole Miss. That's not a good one. And he still wasn't. That was his worst game of the year.
He's had some bad games.
But you go and watch the South Carolina game, and you see how well he does against the pressure.
Oh, there was a deep ball against South Carolina. I was like, dang, that was just nice.
It's such a good throw. He's got a very good arm talent, and he's fast. He's athletic. I think you let him sit behind somebody like Russell Wilson. I think it's going to be really good.
It's
for
going to
them.
be
I think
interesting.
It's a great draft pick.
The development's going to be interesting because he's got the ability to be developed.
But will Brian Daboll be there next year too? Is the problem. I think they give him another chance after.
That's why it's kind of scary. You think so?
Yeah, I think they should.
What does it take for him to get another chance? Because if he has 5 wins, he's out. I feel like he needs more than that.
Well,
They can't continue to keep doing that.
They got Cam Scatterboo. I think this team could. The NFC's kind of weak. That's the thing. It's like it could be a wild card team.
The defense is underrated. Criminally underrated.
It depends how this team does. I mean, I think the Cowboys are in for a bad time.
I think so too.
But I think with the Giants defense, I
Giants defense is
I can see the
underrated.
Cowboys finishing last in this division, and the Giants having a chance at a wild card spot. I mean, that's the thing though. You already got to consider you've got whoever wins the West, which that's kind of a toss up between the Rams and the 49ers.
Definitely.
And the Cardinals could also have.
Cardinals have key pieces and seasoned vets.
You got whoever wins the West. You got the Lions. You got probably the Eagles.
Yeah.
You've got
Washington.
Washington is definitely going to be wild.
They're wild card, if
And
not
then-
win the division.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their ceiling.
Exactly. And then you have the Bucks. So now we've got 2 more spots, and we're probably talking the other team in the West, the Rams, 49ers, or Cardinals.
Right.
The other team in the West, the Rams, 49ers, or the Cardinals, could all be there. I probably wouldn't say the Cardinals. We'd probably take them out, and then we're going to say who else? I mean, is the team from the South going to rise up? Is the Falcons going to do good enough? Probably not with Michael Penix. I don't see them making the playoffs.
I don't know what to make of Michael Penix.
But then you've got the Vikings. You've got the Bears. You've got the Packers.
Vikings are going to push for the playoffs.
So the Giants probably aren't making the playoffs, but I see them having a good run.
7 wins?
Yeah, 7, 8 wins at the most. Maybe.
Just right offhand, not looking at the schedule, yeah.
I mean, 9 wins is like probably the ceiling. That's probably the ceiling with Russell Wilson.
That's a great year.
That's a great year for them, yeah.
Russell Wilson can
He could put out a 9-win season
He
with Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy and
How many wins did Pittsburgh have last year?
11 or something, 10 or something stupid. I mean, they were in the fucking playoffs.
That's the Mike Tomlin effect. Mike Tomlin's better
exactly.
than Brian
That's the
Dable.
difference. Yeah.
So what do we give? What do we give Brian? What do we give Tomlin, like a 2-win spread on Brian
They were 10
Dable
and
as far as
6.
being a coach, winning close games? So the ceiling might be just 8.
Yeah, they were 10 and 7 last year.
So I think the ceiling might be 8.
Yeah, I think the ceiling's 9.
Okay, a
Ceiling's
little more
9.
optimistic than me.
Yeah, I think
We'll
a winning
see.
season is
The defense
ceiling.
is definitely going to be insane. The defensive line is going to create a lot of pressure, and it's going to stop the run too. I mean,
Well, I hadn't looked at their schedule either, so it
yeah,
could be easy.
I mean, Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence.
they got to play the Cowboys
With
twice.
Thibodeau?
That's nice for them.
If you don't have an offensive line, your offensive line's in there for a rude awakening.
Like I said, they got to play the Cowboys twice. Yeah. That's nice. Hopefully, they have to put the Dolphins.
Tyler
or
Burker's
going
going
to
to have his hands full with Dexter
Yeah,
Lawrence.
for
and
sure,
Abdul
for
Carter.
sure. But yeah, I mean, I think they're on the right track. I think Brian Dable could stay for 1 year. I think that would be the right move for them.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about James Pierce Jr. and the Falcons. You know, another edge rush
Trading
piece.
back in. Did you see what they gave up? I saw it briefly, and I thought it
I
was
didn't.
a little aggressive, but I don't mind it. It's a win now league.
Well, that's the Falcons calling their shot. You know? I mean,
And honestly, I loved it. I had James Pierce Jr. originally mocked to Philly, and then on my mock, I had him going to the Commanders. I thought that the Commanders were looking for an edge rusher, kind of like Cincinnati was, where you're going to put up a lot of points, a lot of volume. You're going to average, 24, 26, 27 plus points a game. And what do you need when you're going to do that? An edge rusher, someone who's going to get after the people who need to catch up, the passer.
Yeah, and Raheem Morris, I mean, how long has he been there?
I don't know, but he
started in 2023. Last year was his first year, I think.
Yeah, I believe.
He went out there and, he's made aggressive picks. So that's the thing, though. If it doesn't work out this year, he's gone.
Yeah.
You go out there and you waste the pick on Michael Penix, and then you trade up aggressively to get James Pierce Jr.
Yeah,
it doesn't
right.
work.
You're on the hot seat.
That's not good. He's on a hot
seat
seat
already. In a weak
division.
Right now.
In a weak division.
You're 100%
So
right.
we'll see about James Pierce Jr. I think it is a good pick, but I don't know if it's the best fit, but we'll see. I mean, he's a good player, so that does help.
I think that adding him with
Jalen Walker.
Yes.
And Grady Jarrett.
And Matt Judon. I don't know what's going on with the safeties they had last year. You had Simmons from the the Bengals that came over.
Yeah.
Who was the other safety they had that was really good? I can't remember. Dang, it's bothering me.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
But they're really going heavy on defense, which I love. Bijan Robinson's going to hit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
13 plus.
Kyle Pitts, dude. Sorry,
that's so depressing.
Jesse Bates the third. That's the safety.
Jesse Bates was that's the one.
AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell's good.
Yeah.
They got hope there.
Yeah, Jesse Bates is definitely that's what I figured.
They got hope there. Then trading back in and just going, you know what? We're going doubling down on edge rushers. We're coming at you. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to blitz you. We're going to blitz you. We're coming heavy at you. We're going to run the ball. They have identity there. Can they make the playoffs? I don't know. We'll see. And you can tune in a couple months.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I'm not going to have a mock to probably.
Not right now.
Nah, not right now.
But we'll have our predictions out, come a week before the season. And
sure.
we're usually pretty accurate. I mean,
I'll tell you what team I will have.
We win money every year.
The team that drafted Malachi Starks at 27.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I mean, they're going to be there. They're going to be there again. The team is they draft good.
They do.
It's a good organization.
Malachi Starks
drafts
is
good.
Fundamental fit.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
I mean,
play beside Kyle Hamilton.
Very aggressive safety.
This allows
Physical.
Kyle Hamilton to roam.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Hamilton is a fucking
He
dog,
can
dude.
play in the box.
He's a Pro Bowler.
He is kind of similar to Brian Dawkins. Can't hit hard like Brian Dawkins. Who can?
But Malachi Starks can.
But Malachi Starks can come up and play too. But he's even
physical,
even more phenomenal in the pass game.
Yeah, exactly.
The ball just seems to find him. He create like this is good. This is going to create so much. This is such an Eagles pick. I thought Eamon Warrior would be the pick because Eamon Warrior is more physical and can go sideline to sideline a little bit more than Malachi Starks. More raw talent, I feel like.
Yeah.
But Eamon Warrior tested better in the combine. I thought he was the number one safety. I am biased towards the Carolina.
Of course, yeah.
Backfield,
We saw it all
of
year.
course.
We watched him a lot more.
But them going Malachi Starks, I got it. I get it. We get it.
For sure.
I think that he's going to really give Kyle Hamilton a lot of freedom, a lot of like ability to roam not only in the secondary where he primarily plays, but being able to come up and make plays in the blitzing game to trick slot receivers and zone blitzes. Like he's such a free roamer, such a playmaker. This is a beautiful.
And then
pick
Mike Green in the second round.
Oh yes, I wanted to talk about this.
We'll see about that. The allegations and stuff with him, but an excellent edge rusher.
I'll be honest, I didn't know about the sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
I had Mike Green going to, I believe it was Arizona or Cincinnati. I think it's Cincinnati. I had Cincinnati picking Mike Green after I had him right in that 16 range. Maybe I
had him actually going to the Browns in the second round.
I'd have to go back and look. You pegged it a little bit closer to me. I didn't know about the allegations, but I will tell you this.
I didn't realize it was two of them.
I'll tell you, I didn't either.
That's bad. I was just like, one, whatever.
That's not good. I see why he slipped. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't slip to like the third or fourth because of that.
Yeah,
I would never draft a guy like that until my pick didn't matter.
For real.
But I will say the talent, they either lit their pick on fire or it was one of the steals of the draft.
Just like Jalen Carter with the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steal, yeah.
Mike Green's bull rush is absolutely incredible. We saw it. We and you was watching the film earlier.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the guy that he fucking pancaked.
Yeah,
Josh Connolly Jr. from
Josh
Oregon.
Connolly. He's lining up and Mike Green just completely bull rushes him and just embarrasses him in front of all of his peers. Like he's there for a reason, like all of his peers, and he gets embarrassed.
Yeah,
like that's hard to. How do you get up and like, all right, let's line back up, boys? How do you come back from that? Like you just got completely laid on your ass. Mike Green is one of the best pass rushers in this league.
It's crazy because out of Marshall too.
He is the best. He's right there at it.
Yeah, I would say I got him at like 4 right behind, Abdul Carter, Mikael Williams, and Jalen Walker.
I like it. But, I mean, obviously the expectations for the Ravens, Harbaugh always drafts well in the secondary. I don't know what's going to happen to Marlon Humphreys. I was expecting a little bit more out of him. He's kind of like taken a little bit of a slide
he
back.
hasn't really done much.
He hasn't done as much as you thought out of Alabama a few years back, but I think Hamilton Starks, I think Humphrey's fine. I think he's good enough. Roquan Smith. They're going to be physical. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be hard to figure out on defense. They're going to be tricky. They're going to confuse quarterbacks. That's a great pick.
And the offense is explosive.
The offense is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe they
need some receiver help a little bit,
but
they don't have a number one.
The offense, doesn't necessarily have the volume that calls for it. So,
I thought that's a strange take. Fucking last year they threw like hell.
They really did, and not that they can't or they won't or they don't want to, but I think that Greg Roman's offense is primarily about the running schemes and the zone schemes and really getting tricky with Lamar being efficient with Lamar.
Lamar Jackson threw for 4,200 yards.
There's no knock on that.
41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Amazing. Lamar Jackson, I always thought that his the knock on him, his ability to pass,
fucking insane.
is just wrong. I mean,
that's so insane.
He's been. You want to talk about improving with structure? He is the best.
How many passing yards do you think Lamar Jackson has in his career?
How many years has he been in the NFL?
2018. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 years.
Didn't start his first year. Remember,
Right.
Played
Came in at the tail end.
Yeah.
Lost to the Chargers, I think, in the playoffs. Yeah, they criticized. How many passing yards does he have? 15,000.
20,000.
Damn.
59. Yeah.
That just shows you the fact that. And I'm a person who thinks that people.
He's
are
not
wrong.
the most accurate passer.
No,
He was 58% completion his first year. He's been 66, 64, 64, 62, 67, 66.
Solid.
Yeah, it's not the best, but 66 is all right. That's pretty good.
Cam Newton was a guy who couldn't get over that 62 range.
Yeah, that's low.
It's low, but the other traits that Cam Newton have, his ability to make the defense worry and suck the front seven in and create space for guys like Greg Olsen.
How many rushing yards do you think he has?
I can't put a price on that. That's probably like 8,000.
6,100.
Okay. I was over projecting a little bit, but
I would have probably said 7, or maybe lower than 7, because I would just assume 1,000 a year.
But honestly, man, he has improved so much from the beginning. The narrative that he can't pass inside the pocket is just wrong. He has improved,
especially in the red zone. He's an incredible red zone passer.
And it's because of structure. It's because he got the chance to improve every year with his confidence, and Harbaugh's developed him so well.
Yeah, we know he's going to be great. But Tyler Williams to the Lions. Ohio State
offensive lineman, right?
Yeah, D tackle.
Okay, see, I haven't looked into this. I had Ezraco going here.
Yeah,
I thought that they would pair a pass rusher with Aiden Hutchinson.
I had Kenneth Grant going here, another D tackle.
I like that. That's a good pick. That's
the
range too.
Yeah,
I had Kenneth
Grant. Been so high.
I had Kenneth Grant 2 picks from now. So me and you were kind of on the same page with Walter Nolan and Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, but Tyler Williams, it was a good run stopper at Ohio State. Once again, part of a championship run. If you saw that game, if you watched those games, you saw that there was not much running against Ohio State. They were so fucking physical all year, and Tyler Williams fits that hard-nosed Dan Campbell system where
for sure
he wants a physical D tackle. He's a big guy. I don't remember if he performed in the combine or not.
Does it surprise you that a team that was top like 3 or 2 in run stopping drafted a D tackle and didn't go more like secondary help to kind of give themselves some help?
I had them going D tackle because of all the injuries they've had.
They had a lot of injuries.
And that was strong on the edge.
It was like 11.
Depth. It's the right move.
At one point, they were starting their second string defense
on the whole line.
Yeah.
So I had them
Rodriguez got hurt. Alonzo got hurt.
I had them
Hutchinson got hurt.
It made the most sense to me.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I think it's a good pick. It's a surplus pick. I think they were strong. I think it's healthy. They're strong up front. Even when they were battling injuries halfway through the season, when it hadn't hit fully for that defense, they were still a top 5 defense against the run.
Now let me ask you this: is the reason they're a top 5 defense against the run because their run defense was so good, or because every team they played against was down by 20?
Because they averaged so many points.
Yeah, both for sure, right?
Yeah, definitely. Those feed each other. That's like when when your team puts up a lot of points, your DN usually has a great year.
Yeah, because he's going to be
Cincinnati.
playing more passes.
I love Hendrickson. You've heard me say 2 years ago that I thought he was one of the most underrated edge rushers in the league, and he just led the league in sacks. You see that there. I mean, you saw the points they put up versus the volume goes up because on the other end, the volume of opportunity goes up for the edge rushers.
Yeah.
When
I think the Lions are
know?
going to have a big slump in points this year. I just think,
Why do you say that? They lost Ben Johnson.
Yes.
That's one reason why.
And Jared Goff is bound to be Jared Goff. I
He's got structure,
I just don't
though.
believe in it, man.
He's got structure.
I feel like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff are kind of the same guy, and I don't believe in Brock Purdy.
I don't hate that take. I think it's pretty accurate, but I think that one thing both of those guys have is structure. I think that structure goes a long way. We saw what structure did to the accuracy of Lamar Jackson, the ability to have confidence. Once the game slows down, when the game slows down, it's finally slowed down for Baker Mayfield. Luckily, he was able to get another opportunity when the time came.
Right.
Because he just kept creating pressure and making it harder on himself and pressing and pressing and pressing. Once the game slowed down, he was able to go through his progressions, let the defense run by him, step up in the pocket, take what the defense gave him. There's windows of opportunity to take deep shots. You can't just try to press and make a play.
For sure, and you don't have to be that guy all the time.
You
for sure,
don't.
but I just losing Ben Johnson.
It's going to hurt.
Big, yeah,
it's going to hurt, and I think that Chicago's going to benefit from that.
And I think that's a big reason why they went D tackles because I don't know. I just feel like that's the right pick for me. I mean,
I don't hate it.
They need help on the D line.
I would have went. Well, I was going edge rusher, so I'm not too far from you. I thought that they've been looking for a guy to. There was trade talks about Max Crosby when Hutchinson went down.
That would have been amazing
because they was making a playoff push, and you need an edge rusher to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But so there was so many talks about that. I was thinking Ezeraku here, but Ezeraku went a little bit later. I can't remember who he went to. Seattle? Where'd he go? No, he went he went to somebody at Buffalo. Was it Buffalo?
I don't think it
who
was
was
Buffalo.
Dang, where'd he go?
Buffalo.
Either way, I don't hate the surplus pick.
It was Dallas.
This is a league that's
Ezra going to
trending.
Dallas.
Let me tell you what's happening. There's a shift right now in the NFL.
You got to stop the run.
That's the shift.
You got to stop the run.
Everything's undersized. Everything's air raid. Everything's spread. Everything's let's create space. Now you're starting to see teams. Philadelphia is creating the mold and bringing it back.
Yeah, the best D tackles and the best running back.
Dominate the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And have a phenomenal running back that can.
And a quarterback that can squat about 600 pounds. And a running back that can squat about 600 pounds. Yeah. And a backup running back named A.J. Dillon who can squat about 600 pounds.
Such a great addition. Look, I hate A.J. Dillon because he's burned me because I've believed. This just shows you how stubborn somebody can be with their process when you believe and believe and believe. But you know what?
I'll have him in Dynasty.
I'm still there, baby.
I know,
I'm still there. I'm still there.
You let A.J. Dillon be the starter for the Eagles?
Yeah,
I'm listening.
He could get 4.1 at least with 8 touchdowns. Yeah. Got to. But
yeah, Josh Connolly from Oregon to the Commanders. They needed help on the O-line a little bit.
They're supporting their young quarterback.
Yeah.
They need it. It's a good pick.
It really sucks to see that clip of him getting pancaked by fucking Mike Green. But that's part of it, too. I mean, you get caught off guard every now and then. You a young guy. Mike Green's a fucking animal, so.
It's the Tyler Shuck throw in the combine. It's like this couldn't get any worse.
Yeah,
this is horrible.
That's bad.
You just got literally pancaked in front of
somebody that's your age, not even an NFL player.
A guy who went later than you.
Imagine what's going to happen in the NFL.
It's not Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. But Mike Green is a monster. That is Mike Green is that good, dude. The tape don't lie.
Yeah, Jordan Davis and fucking Jalen Carter. What's Jalen Carter going to do? What's Jalen Carter going to do to this fucking guy?
Like, I like Connerly.
But
that's not good.
This is the end of the first round left tackle is what it is.
Yeah, they're taking
it's not a beginning of the first round left tackle.
The ceiling for Washington?
Oh, it's the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Totally agree.
It's the Super Bowl.
Cliff Kingsbury is making his
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel will, I believe he bounces back. I think Cliff Kingsbury, if there's anything left in Deebo, Cliff Kingsbury will bring it out. If there's nothing left, he's done.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, that's true. This is it.
This is
Cliff
it.
Kingsbury
What you see
last year,
is what you will
he
get.
He coached that team very well. I mean, it showed until he played. Like, the reason, they lost because they fucking played against a team put up 50-something points in a game. I mean, that's Just sorry. What are you gonna do?
There's a gene. There's like levels to quarterbacks that like even the guys in the top 15 don't have. Guys like Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, all those guys who are in that like from 7 to 15 range. They don't have that ability to give you that. Patrick Mahomes, when there's a 45 seconds left, you need a field goal, they can go give you a touchdown.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm talking
For
Scary Terry 3 or 4 times this year, talking bombing it, touchdown. We don't care.
Damie Brown, come on, let's talk about
Another
this guy.
guy who
Let's talk
can
about
get deep.
The dog.
Yes. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. We saw
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. We saw it with those.
C.J. Stroud. Jaden Daniels,
man.
Notice we're
God,
not
they
saying
gotta
Jalen Hurts
still-
because he ain't ever down. He's not down that much, dude.
That's true.
The defense is just good, though. The
Yeah.
defense is great drafting. We're about to get there. Maxwell Harrison, dude, I love the pick by the Bills.
I had him
DB from
going.
Kentucky?
I had him going to Green Bay.
I had him going in the second round.
I had him going to Green Bay at 23. I thought he was a steal for Buffalo. That's exactly what they want. They went and
I
re-signed.
had Buffalo going Jahad Campbell.
That's a great pick there.
And you could see that everyone thought it was the right pick
It's
because
a good
the Eagles,
pick,
as soon
yeah.
as they didn't draft him, the Eagles traded up and drafted him.
That's a good pick. No, I like that too. I like Maxwell Harrison at the Packers, but Maxwell Harrison, I think they got the ultimate locker room guy.
Yeah, for
We've
sure. You
seen
see
all
clip
the
of him dapping everybody
videos.
up.
Dude,
You know what my favorite part about him is that after he got drafted, his dad stayed and dapped up Jahad Campbell and Josh Simmons.
really?
Yes,
That's cool.
His fucking dad stayed and got the other two guys after him.
100% believer in Maxwell Harrison. I think you got an
For
honest
sure.
player, a guy who you have to worry about.
And they needed
None of
DB
the
help.
character.
They needed secondary help.
They needed the help. That's
Bad.
why they went and re-signed Tre'Davious White the other day.
Exactly.
They're
needed it
hoping,
bad.
they're praying that they can get something of the shade, the shell that's left.
Oh yeah,
And I don't think they can, but maybe they can because they produced him.
Yeah.
But I think that Maxwell Harrison is the ultimate competitor. He's the ultimate locker room guy. You're going to get nothing but a stand-up, just dominant guy. He played in the SEC, was dominant, good hands, can win inside. I like Maxwell Harrison. I thought he would go a little sooner than this to Green Bay, but sometimes the draft doesn't necessarily fall that way.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. I mean, you got guys like Tyler Booker going at 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jahad Campbell, kind of like part of me kind of hated to see Jahad Campbell not going to the Bills because it was my last line of defense to tie you in our guesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
you had
we
8 right
hit.
and I had 7 right.
I had 8. You had 7?
Yeah, not including Travis Hunter and Mason Graham.
We had the pick right, but we didn't have the teams right because they
Teams right,
traded.
yeah. So I'm calling it 8 instead of 10 and 9.
Okay,
It
so
was
we
8 and 7.
definitely had the pick. So you're right. We
Our
did get it right technically.
Team and pick.
Yeah.
8 and 7.
And not to mention, like, we got some later round
Late
picks.
round guy. I mean, I was so close on
straight
number
out
31,
just
on number
because
30.
knowing scheme fits and knowing football. I mean,
Yeah,
you
for
guessed.
sure.
I guessed that Walter Nolan would go next to the Bengals, and you
So
you
close,
pegged it
having
right
16,
on,
yeah.
and they drafted him
Gray
at pick,
Zabel and
at pick 16, and Walter
And
Nolan
Derek
was a guy
Harmon's
who was
due for
projected to
you.
go at like 27 to 30.
Yeah.
So you
and
know,
then same thing with Jahad Campbell. You know, I had him at 30 and he goes 31.
exactly.
But also though, I'm so fucking happy to see him come to the Eagles.
yeah.
You know, N'Kobe Dean got hurt in the game against Washington. He's going to be out probably for midseason.
Oh man.
And that's just a great feeling spot. Jahad Campbell is a stud from
It's a
Alabama,
steal. It's one of
dude.
the best steals of the draft, I think, for me. The teams that got the
Other than
steals
Shedeur Sanders.
of the first round. I mean, yeah, that's a steal.
That's a steal.
It's
for
absolute
sure.
steal.
Yeah, he was projected first pick of the draft like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, for sure. To me, it was the Eagles. Jahad Campbell, I thought would go at about 19. He's the best linebacker in the draft, sideline to sideline, and also has an underrated ability to rush the passer.
Yeah.
And they will get creative with him, and he will show up on big time downs on third down. He's going to make sacks. He might have 4 sacks this year. He might have 3 sacks, but I'm here to tell you, those sacks will matter.
All right, let's go and name our top 3 steals. Let's name our top 3 steals.
I'm going to go with Jahad Campbell in the just inside the first round. I'm not going to go outside the.
Oh, I was going to go outside the first round.
I can do that. I'm going to go with for me.
I mean, because I know you have to have Mike Green on that list.
I don't because I think that if you have 2 sexual assault allegations,
But as a player,
up the talent, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I had him in the top 15. The player, but if a player has 2 allegations, I don't want.
He might not even fucking play. He might
How
never
much
play.
longer till the third comes out? You know,
That's a fact. Yeah, that's true.
for me, Josh Simmons. We hadn't got to him.
Dude,
But
yeah, for
Josh
sure,
Simmons. I
dude.
thought that the Texans were absolute buffoons for trading back. I thought that was.
Yeah, I had Josh Simmons to the Rams.
I get
Which,
that
didn't
for
happen.
sure.
They traded back.
They needed O-line help for sure.
They traded back.
And yeah, I think that they got rid of Tunzel. They dismantled their entire offensive line. They needed wide receiver help, which they addressed later on. But I think that them trading back just made no sense to me. You got your franchise quarterback there. You got rid of like a top 10 left tackle in the league, Jeremy Tunzel, who's been amazing, and then you don't draft a guy who he tore his pectoral tendon at Ohio State, and arguably was going to go ahead of Will Campbell as the left tackle before the injury. He was projected, just like Will Johnson was projected, slid. You know, you turn on the tape. I was looking at it this morning in the war room, the kitchen, the TV in the kitchen.
That's right.
I had it on, watching an athletic tackle who had power, an athletic tackle who could get wide, who could dominate in the run game. They got a steal. I mean, the teams at the top are picking for a reason, because they're good organizations. They're good franchises. They let the people over push and overshoot for the guys they desperately, quote unquote, need, and they just let the talent fall to them. You saw it with Philly and Howie Roseman taking Jahad Campbell, one of my other steal of the draft. Jahad Campbell's a baller.
Yeah,
Him with
sure.
Zach Bond, sideline to sideline. They're going to be able to do so much
amazing.
with that. Yeah, Jahad Campbell's a steal. I had him going at 19. But that would be my second one, was Jahad Campbell. Josh Simmons definitely up there. I thought Houston should have got him. Outside of that, a third one, Shedeur Sanders is a steal, whether you like it or not. I've been very critical.
I didn't want to bring
podcast.
him up just because everybody's going to.
Everybody's going to say it. I'll give you
steal, dude.
I'll give you someone else outside of that, but I do think that at least Shedeur Sanders is going to have the opportunity to compete.
Yeah.
The fact they took Dylan Gabriel before they took Shedeur Sanders is a red flag that they can't develop quarterbacks to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot on Dylan Gabriel, but he's got a weak arm. A weaker arm than Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a little bit better footwork in the pocket.
It takes 20 less sacks on the year, though. Same percentage completion.
He's accurate. Yeah. Weak arm. I don't like Dylan Gabriel from what I've seen. It's been limited, but I don't like it. Shedeur Sanders should have no problem beating him out. He should have no problem beating out Deshaun Watson. Once they're like 2-6, maybe 2-4, Flacco's done.
Yeah.
He's out. Thank you. You've been a good mentor. You're 40-something years old. You're statue in the pocket. Crazy. At least he had a strong arm that keeps him into the league.
For sure.
But the one that I think that Shedeur Sanders is going to have the most problem beating out is Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And I think because Kenny Pickett's been in the league, he was just on a Super Bowl winning team.
He learned from Kellen Moore for sure.
He's learned from Kellen Moore. I thought he was a second-round pick, not a first-round pick. I think that his talent-wise, he's not far from Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is a little bit better improviser. Keeps his eyes downfield a little bit better.
More accurate.
More accurate over the middle of the field. As far as an arm talent, they're very similar.
Yeah, pretty close.
But Kenny Pickett at this point is a more seasoned veteran than he is.
Oh,
He's
for
been
sure.
in the league.
For
He
sure.
knows a little bit more what it takes. He's been on the Super Bowl winning team. He's been behind Jalen Hurts. He's been in the Kellen Moore offense. He's going to have a little bit of a bump. Even though Shedeur Sanders,
I disagree.
Even though Shedeur
I've
Sanders,
seen Kenny Pickett. I'm out on the guy.
I don't like Kenny Pickett, but he's going to push Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders is that guy, he should overcome this.
Yeah.
And win the job and play. He's going to have an opportunity. We're going to find a lot out about Shedeur Sanders here because he's got some guys who are going to push him.
Yeah, my 3 steals of the draft. Cam Scatterbo in the 4th round, dude, to the Giants.
Of course, we love him.
Cam Scatterbo, we saw it, dude.
Him.
He was a borderline Heisman candidate last year. I mean, did everything for the offense, passing the ball, catching the ball, running the ball. He was dominant, dude. So good on the goal line, so hard to stop. If I was going to go another running back, though, it would be Caleb Johnson to the Steelers.
That's a great
I
pick,
think that was an amazing play.
Nick him and Warren in the second round to
I'm
Seattle.
getting there. I'm getting to my 3.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to give one other than Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. So Nick Scouridon from Texas A&M, the edge rusher.
Yep.
He fell to the middle of the second round.
They lost their
Panthers.
whole defensive line. Texas
Lost
A&M did.
Everyone.
All
of them. I mean, the Eagles or the God damn it! The Gamecocks lost an ass load.
They did.
Of defensive players
From all levels of the defense.
for sure. But yeah, Nick Scouridon, the A&M edge rusher.
Yeah.
I borderline think he's fucking right there. I had him
third
mocked
round.
in the first.
Third round,
in the
right?
first. That was a second round pick. I had him mocked in the first.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was some quiet hype about him over Stewart, Shamar Stewart.
Yeah,
Not over Shamar
I had
Stewart, but
them
like
right
as being
next to
as
each
like
other.
a guy.
I had Shamar Stewart at 15. I had Scouting going to the Seahawks at 18
Okay.
because they needed edge rush help. But
Yeah.
and then Will Johnson to the Cardinals at 15. In the second round, it just makes too much sense. I mean,
He fell. That's like still. That would be one of my other ones I would highlight too. Yeah, I'm with you on that. A guy who a lot of the knock was him on Will Johnson is that he can only play zone.
that's what the league's going to.
70%.
Yeah, why does
So
it
like
matter?
okay, his ability to recover vertically with his speed because of his injuries. He ran a 4.4 something in the combine. I can't remember what it was. But the knock on him was can he get vertical when he has to? When he goes against the Tyreek Hill, one of those speedster guys, can he get vertical and beat those guys? That's what the NFL in the first round, apparently they don't think so. I had him at 13. I think you had him at 13 to the
I had him
Dolphins.
at 13, yeah.
I thought it was a great pick. I think he's the best corner in the draft. I will say Barron is right there with him.
Yeah, Barron's fast too. I mean,
And
I get
honestly,
why Barron would be over him.
He'll probably – the landing spot was better. But
Yeah,
for
for
Barron.
sure.
But yeah, I can't believe Houston passed on Josh Simmons. I mean, Josh Simmons is
They needed it. They just traded away everyone.
They needed it, man. And
Who
they
was
took
who was that first round tackle they drafted? What, like 3 or 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, maybe, that they traded to the Eagles. I think
Houston.
it was him. Yeah, Houston traded him away.
I don't know.
I'll tell you if you give me like, and his name
is
God, what is his name? He's not even showing up in the top 4 of the depth chart.
Yeah,
That's
I
terrible.
think that Chicago had a pretty good draft. I think Luther Burden in the second is nice.
Trevion Henderson in the second is nice.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
never
really good.
for a second even
That's good.
considered it. But what they want to do is be physical at the line of scrimmage and protect the quarterback. And they drafted the way they drafted says that. The way they spent their money says they want to do that.
Kenyon Green, that was his name.
Kenyon Green. I don't know Kenyon Green.
He was a guard. He's born in 2001. Jesus Christ. He drafted in 2022
Okay.
from A&M. But yeah, he was a really good prospect, but just
Anybody kind of late round you want to highlight that you liked? I like Quinshon Junkins to the.
Ollie Gordon to the Dolphins is interesting.
That's interesting. Scheme fit that I think could work.
Yeah, and Will Howard, we talked about him for a
Will
while.
Howard is a scheme fit to the Steelers. Chris Harris is big on him.
Of course.
Chris Harris got a good eye for football. He understands the game. I think
wouldn't tell him
that. Yeah, if he was here, I wouldn't say that. But I think that I don't believe in Will Howard, but I do see a good scheme fit there.
Phil Moffitt at the Cowboys is interesting too.
Yeah, he played at Clemson
Seventh
originally,
round,
right?
So
Yeah.
he stayed at Clemson the whole time.
Oh, did he?
I
Okay,
think
okay.
so.
I thought he left, but
Yeah, 7th round. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
Moffitt.
pretty good fucking draft.
that was the running back. Yeah, big guy could really get downhill. Yeah,
he's pretty fast too. DJ Giddens, the running back from Kansas State, the Colts.
good out of the
He's
backfield.
a good backup for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
Siobhan Ravel, the DB out of East Carolina.
East Carolina. That's what I was going to say.
went to the Cowboys in the third
Heard
round.
a lot about him. I hadn't looked at anything, but
I
I
had him
heard
going in the late first, dude.
I heard good things.
I had him going in the
He
late
tore
first.
his ACL, did he not? Yeah.
That's why he fell so far, I think.
Yeah.
Harold Fanning Jr. to the
Second
Browns.
round surprised
Third
me,
round.
but if you watch the highlight, it don't surprise you because the
third
highlight
round.
is like
Dude is nasty as fuck.
insane. I mean, route
Yeah.
runner, freak. It really reminds me of David Njoku.
Jalen Noel. They actually drafted both. Jaden Higgins was the wide receiver from Iowa State I was thinking of.
Right,
But
yeah,
Jalen Noel is
that's
the
it.
other wide receiver from Iowa State. The
Yeah.
Texans drafted both
He
of them.
went okay, yeah,
One in
and
the
that's
second,
a
one in
good
the
pick,
third.
and it was a need. I was just disappointed they didn't go Josh Simmons because I hate that he fell to Andy Reid because Andy Reid is right.
One last dude, Landon Jackson, the edge from Arkansas we was talking about earlier.
That's him.
Josh Dobbs second.
Second round or third round?
Third round to the Bills.
Hey,
Josh Dobbs number 2.
go watch it. He gave Will Campbell fit. So did Kyle Kennard. I'm a
Yeah.
little worried about Will Campbell, but I believe in the
I
athleticism.
mean, it's crazy. We got Josh Dobbs, Will Levis, and Spencer Rattler's brother. All three of them had brothers get drafted.
Right.
Shedeur Sanders, Tyler Suck, and
Tyler Suck.
Tyler Suck.
Come
and
on.
Landon Jackson.
Kill him more.
It's been a good
I
podcast. It's a
believe-
3-hour podcast, dude.
We left it all out there. This is all you need to know about your teams.
Hopefully, YouTube puts timestamps on this one so you can skip to
They
your team.
need it to your team. Yeah. It's been fun. We dove deep. We've done a
Cheers,
lot
man.
of research on these players. We've
been waiting. We had a lot to say.
we had a lot to say. I text you the other day. I go, hey, I'll just let you know. I have a lot to say. You're like, yeah, me too. Just
Yeah,
letting you know.
I think as soon as the draft was over, I think we were either on the way back here or
Yeah.
the next day I go, we got to do a podcast about this.
Yeah, and we had to get it out instantly to just let you guys know, give you something on this Monday morning, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be coming out tomorrow morning.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're doing this on Sunday night, so
Yeah.
or Sunday at
So like and
lunch. It's
subscribe,
Friday night.
please. We got a lot of content. We put a lot of work into this. We care a lot. We watch a lot of
We care
film.
a lot. We watch a
take
lot.
fantasy pretty serious.
We're degenerates, all right.
We're degenerates. It's sickness.
Yeah, it's actually. I told Noah that I'm starting my my gambling degenerate era.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
So it's been good, guys. It's been a good
fun, as
podcast. 3
always.
hours. If you made it this far, you're probably already subscribed. So thanks for watching.
See you guys.
See y'all.